So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. What does your hat say? Hawaii, right? Hi, right? Hi, Hawaii. Uh, and it is the Demetra K Show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also, like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube, X, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but you are participants, and we also consider you family. We share the link from time to time for you to come up here and voice your opinion and ask a question. I ask a couple of things in the process. One, that you show me your face if you have a picture in lieu of you in live and living color, so that I can make sure that there are no shenanigans going on. I also ask that you keep it pertinent to the conversation. If you kind of come up here before and said the same thing in the past, we don't need you to come up here and repeat that. I also ask that you remain respectful. Of course, we'll have nice little heated debates, nothing too heated, but we're always going to be respectful. What else we got going on? So I guess I should tell you why we're here. So today we're going to talk about District Attorney Fani Lewis of Fulton County in Georgia, uh, taking a stand in a surprising manner. Wow, I guess now at this point is her ex-boyfriend, so they say, was in the middle of, well, he was in a hearing to decide whether he had engaged in misconduct, committed perjury, and all that. Of course, I will get into all the particulars in just a minute. But if you didn't watch it, I got a couple of clips here, but I watched it, I think most of it, for the 2 days or so that it was in process. And man, it was a jaw dropper. I ain't gonna lie. I was late getting where I had to go on Thursday because I was glued watching it all unfold. It was just like, this can't be real life. I thought I was watching like a reality show or something. But nevertheless, we're going to get into it. Who came on here so far? We got Mike Buckhorse. How you doing? Michael, how you doing? Thunder, what's going on with you? H. McDaniels, what is going on? So, Donovan, what say you?
What say me? It's 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to the Demetra K Show. That means it's Demetra time. Hey, you guys know the routine. We do it every week. Glad to have you guys back because you guys are not just watching us and listening to us, whatever. You guys are also participants, and I call you co-hosts because you guys have some great comments in the chat there. Do us a favor. You guys know the routine. At the bottom, you see that scrolling banner. If you want to contribute, that is a way you can contribute to the content creator to give them 100% of your donation versus giving these corporations the other 40%. Also, do us a favor. Do not forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. Demetra, I am actually incorporating that part of the African Diaspora News Channel app commercial that you guys have in my podcast to get the information out as well. And again, it's very important. I think that you guys should get this African Diaspora News Channel app for the simple fact that you want to know what's going on in the African diaspora. How many of you guys are aware right now, and I believe it's Italy, they are rounding up Africans over there and charging them with basically what we should be charging people here in the United States for breaking our immigration laws coming over here. They're doing that to the Africans over there. How did I know that? African Diaspora News Channel app. So please, if you guys haven't become a member, do a year membership, whatever you want to do. That way we can talk about things that affect us, because I know a lot of us, because we are a unique group within the African diaspora, because we are Black Americans. However, what happens to them is similar and happens to us. We talk about African corruption with their leaders and stuff like that. What do you call the CBC and our Black leadership that we have here in America? They do almost the same thing. It's almost the same corruption. They don't do for their people. Our people don't do for us. See, that's why it's important that we understand what happens to them happens to us and vice versa. So, Demetra, this is an interesting topic. And by the way, you guys, Demetra's not going to admit it. She has been officially kicked out of the sisterhood. Yes, we're on our way. Demetra has been removed from the sisterhood because she will not be silent and speak up for what's right. Demetra, let's get into it.
Yes, indeed. I think I'm getting my membership revoked, but the sisterhood ain't been what it used to be for a long time. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So, as you guys may or may not know, there's been a little bit of a hearing going on. Well, let me back it up to 2020. So, in 2020, you guys know that there was a presidential election that took place, and it was up against that of President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Donald Trump was trying to keep the White House, but he did not. And so he has been accused of doing some things to try to turn the election results into his favor, including that of in Georgia. He called some election officials and some higher ups in politics to see if he can, have them go recount some votes and see if he can find some extra votes. And from that point, District Attorney Fani Willis leveled RICO charges against President Donald Trump and 18 other co-defendants. A lot of those co-defendants have pled guilty or took some sort of a plea deal, whatever, but there are some that did not. And I think the guy's name is Michael Roman. Don't quote me. But one of the co-defendants was like, yo, I got some news and some word that District Attorney Fani Willis might be doing something funny with the special prosecutor that she hired by the name of Nathan Wade. Now, she hired Nathan Wade, I think it was 2021, to take on Trump and the 18 co-defendants, and it is said that she paid him over $600,000 in order to do that. Okay, nothing strange there, right? Because special prosecutors often get paid a lot of money, especially to do something like he was hired for. One of the most polarizing cases, I would think, in the history of the world, especially in regards to a president, right, of the United States potentially going to jail. And so not only with those allegations of well, not that only that she gave him the money, but the allegations came out of it that, again, that was her boyfriend, and that she being Fani, been benefiting from their relationship because Nathan Wade's soon-to-be ex-wife Jocelyn basically said, yeah, here's our bank statements and credit card statements showing that he, being Nathan, has taken Fani on trips all over the world, right? And so then Trump and the other co-defendants was like, wait a minute, now that's some misconduct right there, because if she's benefiting off of some of the money that was paid from her to Nathan, who was allegedly her boyfriend, which now they have come out and said, yes, we were in a relationship. We were boyfriend and girlfriend, although they say they are not now. I don't know. Depends on who you believe. So during this particular trial, Mr. What's his name? Nathan Wade was asked a whole bunch of questions in regards to when he started dating Miss Willis, what he did with the money, did he take her on trips, all this other stuff, right? And he was trying very hard to, keep up and keep the story together. So what I'm going to do now is show y'all some snippets of what came out of that trial. And like I said, I was glued. When I say glued, I was glued to my phone where I was watching it from. And I'll tell you what, it was a doozy. So I'm going to start.
The funny thing is, Demetra, tell them that we were both glued because we were texting each other. I mean, just
what? Get off my phone. I'm trying to watch this. So, we did converse for a couple of hours here and there. After that, we were just like, what the hell is going on? What did we just watch? So I'm going to show y'all some compilations, if you will, of some of the things that transpired. So the video clip that you're about to see was the defense, I guess, and the prosecution were trying to decide, because Fani has been subpoenaed by the wife in the divorce proceedings. And I guess in this proceeding, they want to see if she should be called to testify, she being Fani. So during the time that they were literally trying to tell the judge why she should not have to testify, she shows up, and this is what happened. So we'll watch this clip. I have to do it the old school way because the other way don't work. No, let's see. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay, so this one here. So, all right, this is the first clip when she showed up, and it was like, oh my God. Oh, I gotta press play.
That FUPO was showing.
Okay, so the position of the district attorney at this point is that she's no longer contesting the subpoena. Ms. Mershon was called as the next witness.
would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and then the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant. 3 filings. Does anyone have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant? Does the court have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant?
When you say the filings, you mean like the pleadings?
The pleadings, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we could locate those for you and then step them along.
I want the one filed on January the 8th, the one filed immediately after we filed ours, and the final one.
Okay. So she, surprised everybody because, again, as they were trying to figure out whether she would testify or not, she walks into the courtroom and everybody's head just turned like, what the heck is going on? And she stood there and she says, I let's get it over with. I'm here now. I'm going to testify. And so she got up there and was calling the shots. And then after that, this happened. Okay. It got pretty bizarre and heated. Okay, here we go.
You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial. So let's be clear, because you lied. And let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Well,
You see.
Mr. Say, I think we're going to take 5 minutes. Be back in 5.
All right. So that was shortly after she walked to the stand. She took exception to the attorney by the name of Miss Merchant. And she said that Miss Merchant had lied on her about, the nature of the relationship between her and Nathan, kind of making it seem like they were living together and all that other stuff. So as you can see, DA Willis was heated. And then later on, in that testimony, now mind you, she only testified one day. They thought maybe she had to go back the next day, but they didn't call her back the next day. This is what happened.
The romantic relationship ended before the indictment was returned, yes or no?
To a man, yes.
To a man, yes. To you, no?
She's explained this. She's explained this.
And did the forthcoming indictment have anything to do with that? Or was it just a coincidence?
Mister, let's go on and have the conversation.
I just asked you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
Is there anything else you would like to add to that?
No,
Sure.
but I'm sure we'll talk about it further.
No, we're not going to talk about it further.
All right, no back and forth. Let's sit down. Next question.
Please tell us, talk about 2020.
I had some contact with Mr. Wade in 2020. One of the reasons your allegations are so preposterous, or Ms. Merchants that you have joined, is...
Ma'am, I didn't ask you about the allegations. I asked you about your contact. That's all I asked you. Okay? I appreciate that you want to say something. But I'm interested in, did you have contacts with Mr. Wade in 2020? And your answer so far has been yes, correct?
very limited contact because Mr. Wade had a form of cancer that makes your allegations somewhat ridiculous.
Okay, I do appreciate the
I'm not
characterization.
going to emasculate a black man, but I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not going to emasculate a black man. Did you understand that?
Okay, so again, it got kind of wonky there. So basically, she was describing the nature of their relationship, and because that came into play, because they were basically saying Nathan and Fani, that they split the vacations and stuff half and half, right? He didn't pay for her because she's a strong, independent woman who likes to pay her own way, and then she comes up and says how Mr. Wade is one of those type of men who, only thing a woman could do for him is make him a sandwich and all this other stuff, right? And so, yeah, that's where that came from. They were trying to say that basically he didn't use any of the money on her. Now, it got kind of weird because he was saying that they started dating in 2022, and Fani said they started dating in 2022, although they had met in 2019. Well, I'm gonna show y'all what else happened. And y'all notice too that attorney, the man that was talking to Fani, he was a little bit more forceful because she was running roughshod all over the female attorney. Because at one point in time, she told the female attorney, "Don't get cute with me." So I think the man was like, whoa, sister. I'm asking the questions. You don't be getting up here, talking spicy. So I think that's why he had the tone that he had with her. But check this part out.
Right. And real quick, did you notice that she even tried to overtalk the judge? Any of us that would have done that, we would have been held in contempt.
Oh, yeah. That was, she's clear that she was running the show. Also, because when she walked in there, the judge was like, "Well, how did you know to come in here?" She says, "Well, you basically heard the commotion or whatever, that it was over. So I came in here." It was more or less like, you sure ain't nobody told you to come up in here? But nevertheless, she was there. Okay, well, check this part out.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
When? In 2022.
Early 2022.
But you two met at an October 2019 judicial conference, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You have no doubt that their romantic relationship was in effect from 2019 until the last time you spoke with her? No doubt.
Did you observe them do things that are common among people having a romantic relationship?
Yes.
Such as, can you give us an example?
Hugging, kissing, with affection.
All before November 1st of 2021, correct?
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. So that beautiful lady was that of Robin Yardy. Now, y'all might be saying, well, who the heck is Robin Yardy? Robin Yardy was a college friend of Fani Willis. I guess they went to college. I think they said maybe at Howard or somewhere else. But nevertheless, they've known each other since college. And another point of contention came in because the defense, I guess, because they're representing Trump, was trying to say that Fani had rented out Robin's apartment somewhere else in Georgia so that her and Nathan could be booed up. Because she did, Fani has a house, but it was her father lived there, and I guess her daughters would go every once in a while. But Fani was like, "Well, I rented the house because my life was in danger. I had taken on these cases, and people were at my house, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other." And so Robin, she saw them together. Basically said, "No, well, they're lying. I saw them together in 2019." Although they, being Nathan and Fani, was saying, "No, our relationship didn't start until 2022." And she was like, "No, that's a lie." So Fani did speak about her friendship with Robin and said, "Yeah, we're not friends anymore." Basically for obvious reasons or whatever the case is. So Robin directly conflicted with their testimony. And so again, this trial is going to, or I guess it's a hearing, it's not really a trial, is going to pick up tomorrow. But some of the other jaw droppers, and I see a lot of people coming, I'm gonna try my best to acknowledge everybody, but if I don't, I will throughout the show. One of the partners, okay, because Nathan Wade had a law firm with two other partners. And he said that he split the money 3 ways with those partners, so they each got a third. Now, one of those partners, Terrence Bradley, he was supposed, I guess, be the star witness. So he was going to come in there and, say, "Yeah, this is true, what Nathan was saying, blah, blah, blah," because I guess he also said that he had did Nathan's divorce, because again, he's getting divorced from his wife for free, and it was just all over the place. And so one of the attorneys for Trump asked Bradley, why aren't you working at the firm anymore with Nathan Wade? And he says, oh, we kind of had some beef, a disagreement. And he kept asking him, what was the disagreement about? And he didn't really want to say. It was kind of, I'm just going to go off and kind of do my own thing, this, that, and the other. And then one of the attorneys says, isn't it true, in fact, that you left because you were accused of sexual assault, not once, but twice, once on the client and once on an employee? And he was like, well, it's not true. She says, are you saying it's not true? Well, it's not true that I did it, but yes, that's what I was accused of. So he lied, right? And they also said, is it true that you paid off, for lack of better words, the employee for what you did or accused of doing? And he tried to say no. He said, oh, there was some money, $20,000 left in escrow. So I just left it there. And the attorney's like, so you just left $20,000 in escrow just like that? And so she asked him again, was it used to pay? It was a hush money to pay off the employee. And he finally said, yes. So, and then Fani's daddy got on the stand. Oh my Lord. Because Fani had
It's a black thing, damn it.
Fani's daddy, Fani had made a statement about how, because they was asking her about her money and all this other stuff. And she talking about how she keeps a copious amount of cash in the house hidden because, she's always learned from her black daddy that, to always keep money on hand under, in a house somewhere, whether it's in a wall or mattress or whatever the case is. And so then the attorneys for Trump says, so you keeping all this money in the house, but you got a $4,700 tax lien? How's you keeping all this money and you ain't paying your bills? And then Fani's like, you gonna tell me how to pay my bills? And that's kind of literally how she said it. And so the daddy got up there, and I don't think he helped her at all. I get it. He's his daughter. He loves her. He wants to make sure that she's not in any trouble or anything like that. And, he just kind of was just contradicting a lot of stuff she was saying. Sounds like he disclosed that before she started dating Nathan Wade, that she was dating a Ray Ray or a Pookie. Says that her last boyfriend, he was a DJ and he had all kind of paraphernalia all over the house. And I don't know, it just didn't seem like he really liked them. But yeah, it was a mess. So it's going to continue on Monday, but Lord have mercy. I was blown away by all the drama in this case. And so let me get to see, at least acknowledge everybody who came on here. Now I'm going to give it to you, Donovan. Let's see here. Is my mic, is it still low, Donovan? It's good? It's still low? All right. So y'all let me know if you're having a hard time hearing me. Okay, so let's see who else came on here while I was running my mouth. Hello, Easy Comment Man. What's going on with you, Brother Sammy? What is going on? Not see your comments, but I'm gonna try to skip down so I can catch up. Brother Don, how are you? Freddie B, Easy E. Did I say hi to you already? If I didn't, hello, Trish. How are you? Miss B, what's going on? Rain, long time no see. How you doing, Michael? I think I said hello to you, but I'll say hello again. And I love my ad block. How you doing? You are in Germany. Welcome back. Okay. Leon, what's going on with you? Proud man Tramp. All right, how you doing? Oh my gosh, there's a lot of you guys on here today. Sagittarius Goddess, how you doing? I'll see you guys' comments. I mean, lick my tongue out at you. Tawana, what's going on? Facts not feelings. We're gonna talk into that. A man is not a planned thing. Yeah, she said her daddy. Charmaine, how are you? MC 007, what's going on? Monet, how are you? J Bubba, Lindell, how are you? I'm seeing y'all comments. Y'all got a lot to say. I wish I could stop and read all of them, but I'm gonna catch up. Tanae, how are you? And Sheila, if you guys want to put those comments back in the comment section again so I can read them when I catch up, I would love it. I just can't stop to read them right now. Marcella, how you doing? Thank you so much for the compliment. Oh boy. Oh, there's a lot of y'all. DSB, how are you doing? And Lillian, what's going on with you? I'm gonna catch up. I think I got everybody so far. Lesox, how are you? I hope I said that right. And golly, you guys be typing, boy. Y'all be typing. Half of them belong to Donovan. Soto, how are you? And a different view, how are you? If I didn't already say hello to you. Oh my gosh. And Thunder says, what's the point of this circus? I forgot in all the commotion. They're trying to see if, and maybe I forgot to mention it because it is a circus, that Trump's people want to have Nathan Wade and Fani disqualified from prosecuting them because of the alleged misconduct between their relationship. And they got into, them having sex and all of that. I was like, golly. So they're trying to have them thrown off the case, for lack of better words. All right. Let's see. I think I'm catching up. Sheree, how you doing? Miss White, how are you? And then Brother Sam, you say you didn't know what was going on. I posted some. Sherry, how you doing? Anka, how are you? Your average logical thinker. More threads. Miss Tiffany, entree. Woo. And more threads. Thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. And Native Son. All right, I caught up. So now I can start getting more into you guys' commentaries, and forgive me for that. It was just a lot to cover. So Donovan, what is on your mind, brother? You saw the trial, or it's not a trial, it's a hearing to see if they should be disqualified from prosecuting. So what is your take on that?
This was better than Basketball Wives, Atlanta Wives, the salaciousness of it and everything like that. You getting kicked out of the sisterhood. I mean, it just went, to me, this just goes to show the fact, and it's a fact, Black people love to be entertained, because if this was any other thing, Black people wouldn't be paying attention to this. They would not be paying attention. But let a city girl DA who prosecutes rappers that she used to represent, prosecutes them and throws them under the bus for political attainment, that's all great. But now we have this. Now she is under fire. And what was one of the first things that she went to? First of all, I'm a woman. First of all, she goes to the church. I mean, let's break it down. How the hell, Demetra, do you go to a church of God, and try to justify adultery? How do you do that? I was like, wait a minute. Why would she even bring that up in the church, number one, knowing she had a relationship with technically a married man, regardless if they're separated or not? Technically, they're still. I want you guys to go up to God and say, well, technically, me and him weren't married. We were separated. If you're married, you're married. She goes up in the house of God, and then she uses her feminine, and fellas, we're all familiar with that tactic. I'm a woman, and all this other stuff. I'm a single mom, and all this other stuff, to deflect of the fact as a taxpayer. Because when I was looking at the case, Demetra, I was looking at it as a taxpayer, and I don't blame Donald Trump's defendants using anything possible, which is what a good lawyer will do. You will use any defense you can to exonerate your client. So I'm not mad at them for digging all this stuff up. But when you're a high-profile person, you got to be aware of this stuff. I mean, to me, I'm looking at money laundering. Why doesn't she have anything in cash? Now, Demetra, when I ran for office, I had to file every little thing that I did when it come to the campaign. They explain that to you outright. And what could happen, and things I could do. You could go to jail, all kinds of stuff. But see, the problem is, and I know a lot of people don't want to accept this stuff, especially our Black accountability to Black women. Fellas, put a one in the chat if you are like me and believe Black women just do not want to be held accountable to anything that they do. And if you saw her body language and how she went up there, this is supposed to be a professional lawyer. And Demetra, you took law, you took public relations. There's a certain way you are supposed to present yourself in a professional environment to be taken at a certain thing. She went up there, look at her body language, hand on her hips. I'ma tell you. She's talking to the judge like, are you gonna swear me in? I mean, there are truths to certain tropes. So when you see movies like Big Mama, Shanae, things like that, there are truth to those things. Okay, I'm not saying all Black women are subject to that, but the big joyful, there's just truth to it. And she showed an example of what is happening. And to me, the mayor of New Orleans, the mayor up in Chicago, the mayor that was up in Flint, Michigan, her herself, Sheila Jackson Lee, whatever, Maxine Waters. There seems to be a problem in women leadership. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying a woman can't lead. What I'm saying is they want to be held to a different standard than men are held to. If that was a man under those exact circumstances, how would he would have been judged? Totally different. But she figures, and everybody, let's just use our common sense as adults. If I am your superior, should I be sleeping with my subordinate? That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, when I was in the military, they're going to hold the higher ranking person accountable for fraternization. Period. No questions asked. The younger person has nothing to do with it. And I know some people bought on the fact that she uses word salad, and she's like, well, I don't, he's not a subordinate. If I'm paying you money to do a job, who's the subordinate and who's the boss? But see, as a lawyer, she knows how to use words to deflect and do all those things. I don't care how you dress it up. If I'm paying you money, you're going to do exactly what I tell you to do, or do the job that I pay you to do it for. And why she is giving this man cash and not having a record of it as a public official is beyond me. It's beyond me. I mean, I got a lot more to say about it, but the fact of the matter is what I got out of this. Number one, Demetra K is kicked out of the sisterhood. Number two, it goes to prove that when women have attained seats of power, no different than men, they don't act no different than men, but yet they want to be held to a different accountability than men. So that's what it definitely proved.
I love my ad block. Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. You said there's the reason why we passport exists by Felicia. Okay. I wasn't even going to go there. Y'all going to make me, man. I was thinking today was going to be a chill day. So I saw a lot of people put one in the chat because Donovan asked, it put a one in the chat. If Black women have a problem with accountability, I want y'all to know and realize, if y'all have not seen this trial or kept up with this trial, that there was a Black man on that trial by the name, or hearing rather, by the name of Nathan Wade, who was up there because he was not taking accountability. So it wasn't just the Black woman, it was the Black man as well. Okay. Now, if he would have just copped to a lot of stuff, then Fani probably wouldn't have had to take the stand or whatever the case is. Now, I do agree that there is some accountability issues going on there with Fani Willis. I want to say all allegedly because we don't know for a fact, but it appears that they may have been, using that money to be booed up, because when they asked them about their certain finances, sounds like at one point in time he didn't have a lot of money and she didn't have a lot of money. The daddy didn't have a lot of money. So don't sound like a lot of them had a bunch of money, even though it sounds like they're making money. I don't know. There's a lot going on. And so, that Black man was up there not taking accountability too. So we're not going to just put that on all Black women. And that's kind of really the crux of my conversation here with y'all today. Because I've seen a lot of sisters, and the reason why I'm kicked out of the sisterhood, I guess, is because I took exception to a lot of sisters running around, not all, but a lot. Because I did see a lot of other sisters too saying, you don't speak for me, saying a man is not a plan. He is a companion. I agree with the man should not be a plan. As y'all always know, I say, I think women should have something to fall back on. And yeah, he is a companion, but not nobody else's husband. Nobody else's husband should be your companion. That's where a lot of sisters are forgetting. Amen and big up in her running around the world, not the country, but the world with another woman's man. It sounds like because it was his wife, the one that, provided the smoking gun, if you will, as to how they got all up in their financial business. Now, of course, I should say, said that, in 2015, I caught my wife cheating. Now, how true that is, I don't know. I caught my wife cheating, and we just kind of weren't together, but we decided to stay together for the kids. And then in 2021, we filed for divorce, and then Trump's folks was like, yeah, you filed for a divorce the day after you got that money from Fani. So was that a coincidence or what? Then he had this long story about the wife took the daughter to college in Houston, and when she came back, was it the perfect time to serve? It was just a bunch of lies, if you ask me. So I speak out against that. That Fani does not speak for Black women, not for me anyway. She is not a source of strength for Black women. As I said, I watched that trial. And I saw her be defiant, hard-headed, just awful, talking to people crazy and all of that. And I'm like, I wonder if she would allow anybody to act like that with her if she was asking the questions. And the other thing is the daddy, I don't know, maybe the partner Bradley and whoever else might not even have to come on there. She didn't go in there because the judge might have said, well, no, we don't need DA Willis to testify. We're going to have her hold off. But she came in there and said, let's get it over with, for lack of better words. So to me, she kind of opened up a whole bunch of can of worms that didn't need to be opened up. And it was, I was thinking about it the other day. I said, this is a perfect example of Jezebel and Ahab, Samson and Delilah, right? Well, y'all follow the Bible. Best examples I can think of, Delilah and Jezebel, you know, helped destroy those two men. And so when I think about her in relation to Delilah and Jezebel, I'm like, damn, she had a daddy up there lying. Maybe, you know, he's a lawyer as well. He's been all over the world trying cases. He's got a documentary that he's working on. But to me, clearly he was up there lying. So it's like, what if your daddy get disbarred or, you know, whatever, for trying to protect you? And then the Terrence Bradley guy, it came out, he had to go into a special conference with the judge behind, you know, the sexual assault allegations up at the farm with Nathan Wade. So it's just so much that came about. And I thought about it, said, what if she wouldn't have Watusi'd herself up in there, you know, taking control of the courtroom? It's like, what did she really think she was going to get up there and do, you know, with all her sassiness? Was she going to get in there and get them all together and y'all better understand and all this other stuff? And everybody say, oh, you right. Let us go and just, you know, because at the end of the day, Trump's people, they want the case thrown out. That's probably not going to happen. And they for sure want her and Wade off of the case. Now, I want to say this, because Fani and Nathan are accused of doing what they're doing, that does not mean that Trump is not responsible for what he's being accused of. So they're two different things. I just want to make that the case. But yeah, and also I want to take exception to something you said too, is not black people are all wrapped up into this. Everybody and their mom, okay? White people, Asians, Hispanics, everybody is wrapped up into this because it turned into somewhat of a soap opera, if you ask me. Now, the way I kind of feel bad for Fani and Nathan because their sex life is just out there, right? I don't care who you are. Nobody wants your sex life all out there. I think there was measures she could have taken to avoid that, and that was not to get in bed with a man you paid almost $1 million to go after one of the biggest fishes in the world. So,
okay, well, hey, look, I'm going to say this. When I said that all the attention is on this, when they were talking about getting rid of qualified immunity and Karen Bass and everybody talking about, well, we tried. What I mean is when it comes to things of substance that affects the black community, we are not as engaged. That's where I was kind of going with that. When it comes to drama and entertainment, people could tell me everything that happened. But if I ask them right now on, let's say, the bill in California in regards to the reparations task force and what is actually that they decided to do, nobody could tell me anything. That's what I mean by that. But shifting real quick, Demetria, let me ask you this question, sister girl. This woman makes over $200,000. It's a black thing, by the way, because black people, we all keep money, in our houses. So let me ask you this: all this money that this woman makes, what I also got out of it by, and I'm just assuming, and again, assuming I know what it means to assume, but for all the money that this man and this woman makes, her father and her included, they're hiding money and all this stuff. She couldn't even give a definite number of the money she hides. We go to Publix, $50 here, $50 there. At one time, 15,000, whatever. Why is this woman broke?
I don't know. I don't know why she's broke, because they didn't do a forensic accounting of her finances or anything like that. She talked about at one point in time when she was campaigning, she didn't want to campaign for her, but they kind of made her campaign. She spent like $50,000 of her own personal money. So she's talked about that, but I don't know exactly why she may be having some financial woes. But the assumption is that she's having some financial problems because she has a $4,700 tax lien, I think, against one of her properties. And so that's what they were asking. Why haven't you paid your bills? You run around the country, or the world rather, and you haven't paid your lien. And the other thing is, I think they were probably trying to establish motive as to why she would be helping him spend some of that money. Because he also, they brought up that when he did some of his tax filings, said that he only had $5,000. And he was like, oh, well, that was at the time. Basically said, don't be calling me broke. But I think, it said on 2 of his tax filings that he said he only had something like $5,000.
Yeah, it was about $2,000, but then he was also going through his divorce type situation. So he was only bringing, after his properties and all his money that he had, basically his playing money to live off, he had about $2,000. But in the thing though, what killed me was he was bringing in $14,000 a month.
Right. So ain't no telling what was going on. They didn't really get a deep dive in. I'm sure they got, statements and stuff, but a lot of that wasn't disclosed as to exactly what all was going on. But
right. Well, and I'm going to say this real quick. And the reason I bring this up is this is what you always talk about is how Black people, we like to wear our wealth. We like to show our wealth when we're basically broke. And you see this in the boule all the time. People got these damn big ass houses and all this other stuff. It's all smoke and mirrors, which is why for those of you guys who watch our show on the regular, I always say most Black people are below the poverty line, at the poverty line, and just above it. And that's why we are the most affected when it comes to our wealth being taken, because we're the ones directly affected. But now that we're permanent and at the bottom, it don't matter now. But our talented 30%, a lot of them, it's smoking mirrors. I have some friends that looking at them, you would think they have all this money, but then it really started hitting me like, well, I don't have as money like they have it, but I'm not dependent on a job. I have to work. But I see them with the bags, the Mercedes, and I'm not pocket counting anybody's money, but the point is either you have it or you don't.
And I see a lot of y'all on here, so I'm going to do my best to acknowledge everybody as best I can. Percy says, Fani claimed all that cash talk and always paid cash. Yes, so that's another thing, too. Thank you for reminding me. She said she paid him back in all cash, so there was no paper trail.
I think she paid him back more than cash. Okay.
Well, we're going to keep it clean here, brother. So therefore there was no paper trail because they were trying to establish, well, show us. And they was even asking him, show us on your tax returns as far as your business where, because he said he expensed everything on his business credit card. And they were like, well, show us where can we find that? And he said, well, she gave it all back to me in cash. And she said that, oh gosh, she never gave him more than $2,500 at a time. And he said that she would just reach in her purse and give it to her. So then they were asking her, where did you get the money? And, perhaps did it come from your stash that was in your house, and all of that. He also said, but paid her rent to a former friend electronically. Yes, through Cash App is what she was saying. So there's a lot going on there. Marcella says, just admit that was some good. She gave up the money for that. Wow. Angie, how you doing? Says, tacky. She couldn't put her dress on correctly. Yeah, I saw people saying that the dress was on backwards. I don't know if it was or not. Our Glee, how you doing? Says, more like standing on BS. Right. Well, that's what they were saying. She was standing on business. Easy says, all of her personal business made public because she took the bag from the liberals to pursue Trump on their behalf. And that's the other allegation. Of course, there's no proof of that per se. Although it is said that Nathan did go to the White House a couple of times to meet with the Biden administration. So one would ask, why did he do that? But yeah, the bigger picture is that they're being used, they being Fani, to go after Trump to basically stop him from running for president, because there's a very real possibility that Trump may become president again. One who cares, how are you doing this fine afternoon? Let's see here. If I didn't already, Sheila, how you doing? So stop being judgmental. I don't know who that's for, but welcome. And Rosalind's review, how are you doing? And Sheila, he says he hid the $1,400 by splitting it with the law firm. So actually, I don't know if it was or maybe it was, I don't know, but he split the over $600 some thousand that he was paid from Fulton County with his partners. Yeah, and she also said, sounds like she might have kept some money from the campaign. Today, she did say that. Yikes, right? Thunder says, why is it an issue that she keeps money in a stash spot with most Black women, especially the older ones, always keep some money? back just in case. But when the folks do it, it's called a slush fund. Well, there was nothing wrong with her keeping the money. They were just trying to figure out. They were trying to figure out how she paid Nathan Wade back for her half of the trips that his mother also went with them. But her dad was like, I didn't know anything about Nathan until like 2022. Although sounds like Nathan said that he met her dad in 2019, and the dad is like, oh, I might have met him somewhere around then at a frat event because they're both, fraternity brothers or something. So it was a mess. Laura, how you doing? So did she say she kept some of her campaign money? Also, I would never tell anybody that I kept money in my house. Easy target robbery. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. She kept saying that. I mean, especially since she was saying she was already kind of like a target.
And maybe that's why in the Black community we like to rob each other's homes, because we keep money. Everybody keeps money at home because it's a Black thing.
That's not true. No. Facts Not Feeling says that her way was a plumber. You better quit with this. He was a plumber. You wild. And Common Man says, okay, so you're talking to Donovan. And Rosalind says the IRS is going to audit both of these clowns. Maybe not. I don't know. But they said a lot of things that really would make one raise an eyebrow. Cecilia, how you doing? He says, I know people who have money and don't flaunt it. Most people who have no money want to look like they have money. Good point. And we watch you.
Demetria, let me ask this question real quick. Just to break real quick. Do you think Miss Willis should be removed from the case?
In my personal opinion, yeah, I think she should. And hold on a second. We watch YouTube. How you doing? It says the dress was not on backwards. She photographed in 3 different dresses. All of them have a zipper in the front. Yeah, I didn't. To me, I saw that, but I didn't think it was on backwards because I saw how she tied the dress and all that. I'm like,
yeah, I think it was her undergarments bunching up and stuff. That's what I got out of it.
No, because they said the zipper was in front when normally the zipper is in back. So I don't know. To me, that's neither here or there. But as far as should she step down, was that the question? Yeah, I think she should be removed from the case, because if you're really trying to go after Trump, I don't think you need any other distractions or anybody to try to be able to appeal or any of that kind of stuff. If he is found guilty, I'm not saying he should be or would be, saying if he is found guilty, I think that she should to step down, and Nathan as well. And it doesn't even sound like he's tried a case like that before anyway. So I think that's why a lot of people are saying, well, what's really going on here? It's not really his specialty. So kind of weird. Emmanuel, how you doing? Say, how is this related to Trump interfering with the Georgia election? Well, again, if somebody is trying you and you can do some time and they're doing something inappropriate as well, then yeah, I think you should bring it up, because there's this term in law called clean hands. You got to have clean hands. Now, did Fani and Nathan have anything to do with the allegation that Trump is facing? No, but then if you know that you gave your man some money and you might have benefited from that, I think that's an issue, because another thing I said too is this is where a lot of people are phony. Had Fani been going after Biden, it'd be a whole different story. Y'all wouldn't be, yes, girl, and oh, you tell him. Y'all be like, oh, she a hard-headed heifer. Has she been going after Biden? Then y'all know it's true. Anyway, Brother Samuel said, seems like she was using broke as a figure of speech. She also said you owe bills but still buy groceries. Yeah, she said that, and that's true. I'll give her that. The average logical thinker says, what are your thoughts on the judge and his behavior? I think he was trying to be fair, but I think that he let Fani have a little bit too much of a run of the courtroom. But he did have to snatch her up a couple of times, like, okay, that's enough, sister girl. You need to answer the questions. We don't need all of that. So he did have to admonish her a few times, which was like, okay, about time, right? Okay, Nick, how you doing? So you're saying something about the dress as well. All right, I'm going to acknowledge everybody else who came on here that I haven't acknowledged. Aaron, how you doing? Says, if Fani will lie in Fulton County, where else is Fulton County lying about? Maybe counting votes? I don't know. I mean, everything's, on the table to think about, at least. And Fab, how you doing? Says, everybody keeps cash on hand, but to say it's a white thing to use a bank account is beyond moronic. I totally agree with you, because everybody stashes money here and there. I have a glass jar with a bunch of change in it. Now, somebody could say that's stashing money. I don't, do that. But everybody does that, right? So I don't know. I know the Asian community, they're big on not keeping money in the bank. So it's not just a Black thing. So I was like, let's see. Carleon, how you doing? It says, hi, when it comes to funding a campaign, can it be financed with your personal monies, including monies you take the personal loan for? If that is the money, does the law say? You can to some degree, but Donovan will probably be able to speak more to that as he ran in 2 campaigns.
If basically, if you have money left over in your campaign and you do not, I think there's a statute of limitations of when you can run. If, let's say you're not going to run ever again and you know you're not going to run, you can use that money for whatever, cash it out, use it for whatever, and it's yours to keep. That's why you see a lot of politicians, they'll, during the election year, they'll amass a lot of money, then they retire and they can take that money with them. But usually if you're going to, run within a certain amount of time after that, either you got to replace that money if you used it and then you decided to run again. There's like a statute or something that you got to do. But yeah, once you retire and you're done, you can take that money and use it for whatever you like to use it for.
Kenandrum, how you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. He says, I've been an attorney since 1998. I have seen these types of hearings at least a dozen or better. This woman and Wade are in more trouble than meets the eye. Yeah, you see a lot of people trying to downplay it. And you know what? I want to open up the link in just a minute. I want to get these comments down. And if there are some lawyers in the chat, when I open up the link, I'd love for y'all to click it and kind of give us y'all insight as to what you think about what's going on. But let me try to catch up on these if y'all don't mind. Not again. How you doing? It says unprofessional. Danielle, rather. How you doing? It says, check this out. If Trump goes to jail, he can still be president of the United States. I found out from Dr. Ritchie's bullpen discussion with an expert. Go figure. And somebody said, how much did she pay Nathan Wade? It was over $600,000. I think it was like $650,000, something like that, to go after Trump. Let's see here.
Yeah, and real quick, you got to remember, you guys, at the end of the day, this is another problem in America. Us as the taxpayer, we are not oversighting the money that's taken out of our checks and stuff to where it's going. Thus, you see these migrants coming here who don't vote, who haven't paid into the tax system, and this government, the people that we elected, our public servants, are taking our dollars for the benefit of other people that didn't pay into that. That is our money. So we should have a voice in how that money is spent. That's why you need to go to city council meetings. You need to do certain things that you're supposed to do, but we don't do it. So that is a big problem, in America within itself.
And Tom Manning says, I have a jar full of them. Yeah, I got a jar full of change too. So yeah, it's not just black people. It's a black thing. Yeah, and as she said it, and he said it too. It's like, nah. And then her daddy, they asked, so have you been watching this trial? Because if you're a witness or whatever, or the hearing, you're not supposed to really, be tuned in. But he said, yeah, well, how could you not? And then they asked him if he talked to Fani, and he it sounds like he did. And it was just a lot. I honestly felt sorry for her dad because, I get it. He wants to protect his daughter and, kind of make sure she's not shown in a bad light. So I don't fault the daddy too much. I feel sorry for him though, because, I don't know if he's retired or what, but he's an elderly guy, he's trying to live his life and stuff.
He's retired. He retired like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, and then, God forbid this is his legacy, because it sounds like he's doing a lot of great things. Said he worked with Mandela in South Africa, doing some legal stuff over there and, copious amount of other places. And so I would hate for that to be what people really know him as. And his name is it John Floyd? I think his name is. Yeah, John Floyd III. That's the name of her daddy. So I just, like I said, I really felt bad for him. James, how you doing? Let's see who else came on here.
Tashi. Dad wants to hear about his daughter 304 and with a man she's not married to. And nothing against you, lady. What I'm saying as fathers, we don't want to hear about it. We know what's going on, but we don't want to hear about it. And then you see your daughter being attacked, be it rightly so or wrongly so. No father wants to, see their daughter go through that.
Yeah, so I did feel sorry for him. And Search for Uru, how you doing? It says Black folks choose immigration over their own community. Yeah, and when you say that, I would imagine mean via voting, because Black people do vote for the Democrats more than any other party, and we've helped them do that. Soto says Dr. Ritchie and this lady said there's nothing the construction. It's the Constitution. I think you meant saying that you can't be president while in jail. Well, and there goes that, right? If he does go to jail, of course, you guys know that he just got a judgment of $350 million, and it sounds like it's about $450 million now. And Letitia James there in New York City says that for every day that Trump does not pay, he was found guilty, I guess, of misrepresentation of his properties. His sons was also had a judgment against them. And so she says every day he don't pay, he gonna have interest attached to it. Although he said he's gonna appeal. So there's a lot going on with Trump. As you guys also know, he's got 91 cases that he is battling. So easy. You say, D, if she is removed, does it tarnish her credibility as a prosecutor? I think it already has. Because if you guys follow any of the information about her, when she got in there and when she was campaigning, she's like, I'm not going to be one of those DAs that's, sleeping around and, with people on the job. And then she also was saying at one point in time that if she finds out that her employees are, doing that or having improper relationships, she's going to deal with it. And so, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, did you just mean it for them or did you mean it for yourself too? So I think, unfortunately, it has already tarnished her reputation. Now, let me tell you this too. Just because she's getting accolades from a lot of, and it's not just sisters, but it's a lot of other people. Oh, she told them this, that, and the other. What does that really do for her at the end of the day that she got in there and got the, snapping and clapping and toe tapping and all that other stuff? That's very fleeting. People aren't going to be talking about that and her performance in the next couple of days, Yeah,
and it's funny that the black churches, some of them, especially those in Atlanta, they're only supporting her in the aspect of access to power. And we know how the black churches operate. It's just sad, but yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, they're going to pick it up tomorrow. So that's remains to be seen. And Soto says, yes, some men look at women how they want their daughter to be. And he said he didn't know anything about that relationship at all. He knew about some other relationships she was in. Didn't sound like he really cared for that relationship either. But he said he didn't know, but it sounds like maybe he did know. And again, I think he was really trying to help his daughter. Frank, how you doing? Says, when you're born black in America, you got to watch your ass to the day you die. Yeah, you can't do the stuff white folks do. And sooner black people realize that, you can't do what they do and get away with it and all that other stuff, then we'll be better off, right? But yeah, don't be running around here talking about what white people do and why she can't do it. White men do it all the time. White men wrote the laws for this country to benefit them, not for Fani and, her potentially inappropriate relationship with somebody that she paid almost $1 million to. You know what I mean? And to me, that was just like, God, you going to fumble the bag and the ball? You going to do it like that? Like, I feel like if I commit a crime or I'm going to fumble something, it's going to be something huge. It ain't going to be something to where I'm going to kick myself every day for doing it. That right there, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people got exposed and a whole host of other things behind two people not possessing the ability to abstain from rolling around in the bed with each other. There were so many avenues that Fani could have taken to get out of that. Hey, man, you married, first of all. This ain't gonna look good on me. Am essentially the top cop in Fulton County. That's gonna be inappropriate. She could have said, well, I just wrote you a check, although it sounds like they was dating before she wrote him the check. I don't know. So we better not be dating and all that other. I don't know. Just like, to me, it's silly. You could have got your itch scratched just about anywhere. But for me, or waited, I don't know. I'm confused by that.
But do you know what's crazy about this whole thing? At how we're looking at it in the 70s, and oh my boo Amanda's in the chat. She's looking for a plan. I'm right here. The plan is right here, baby. The plan is right. Yeah. But anyway, the funny thing is, this is the very type of behavior women were complaining about in the 70s that vilified men. It's just like the child support system that vilified men. Men should pay whatever the deal is. Look at how the laws are up. When a woman makes more money, let's say she's going through a child support custody. A better example, a divorce. Mary J. Blige. Why is it okay for Mary J. Blige to go up there and complain and holler about she shouldn't support no man and it's not fair that she has to do this and she has to do that, when this was the very thing that women were complaining about in their situation? But when it's reversed, oh, how dare we? Again, accountability. We don't want to subject ourselves to the very rules we complain about, the toxic manosphere. But now when we're finding women are doing the exact same thing, women that are sitting in power are doing the exact same thing men supposedly were doing, there's no accountability. They don't want to be held accountable to it. It's just that in this situation, the mere fact that you are the district attorney and you hired a person and giving them tax dollars, you mean to tell me this woman does not have the sheer sense to know that even if I was dating this man or whatever, it looks bad and I shouldn't hire this guy and I should find somebody else? Even if they dated 5 years ago, it wouldn't look good. It just wouldn't. And this is where we're at, because now the tables are turning. And it's funny how these women are hollering and screaming when they're being held to the same standards that men are being held to. Welcome to feminism.
Cecilia, you say her name is Fani, not Fanny. People, if you talk about me, get my name right, Willis. Oh, Lord. Is that what she said? Or I don't know. I heard people say Fani. I've heard people say Fanny. D.A. Willis, I think that's probably most appropriate. But, yeah, as long as they don't call her an inmate or nothing like that, if she gets in trouble, I don't know if she will, but I'm just saying. All right, so let me skip on now. I think I'm ready to open up the link. And I want, if I have any lawyers in the chat to come on here. And Jason, you say she was craving, oh, y'all crazy, for some D. Women in power love to have an affair with their associates. Facts. I don't know about that, but yeah, that was, I just didn't get that one. It's like, God, Liana, you're doing well. There's no doubt in my mind that if Biden is reelected, that they might have offered her a position, because usually they do that, right? You did a good job. Now you get to come to the big house.
What politician that actually happened to, where they offered her a job to the White House? She was like a mayor or something, and they actually. Who?
Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Yeah, Lance Bottom, exactly. So yeah, that's not a far-fetched idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying I would think that would be the next step. An indie-minded FBA, how you doing? It says the lie that she hired her boyfriend Toy to embezzle money makes no sense. There's not one shred of evidence to prove any of the claims that have been made against her. I didn't say that she hired him to embezzle money. The allegation is that she benefited from the money because she paid him, and he said his partners $650,000 rather, and that because he and her went on vacations, and actually it was his wife that made these allegations and provided the stuff. So the allegations is that he paid, because they said on a statement that he bought some plane tickets, right? That she benefited from having a relationship with him, and she wrote him a check, so that is plausible. And there's strong evidence that they are saying says that she benefited from that. So
yes, look up the definition of money laundering. Money laundering is this, and they say Donald Trump has done it too. The powerful do it all the time. When you start buying up properties to get rid of cash and put it back in the economy, that's how you money launder. You buy properties, you go on trips, you do things, whereas you don't use your money, but the money that you're getting underneath the table, you're putting it back in the economy. People say, you got to prove this, you got to prove that. It's, why is she paying cash for everything? Why is she paying cash for everything? She knows as a public official, especially as the top cop in Fulton County, that she has to record all of these transactions. She knows that.
Indy Mindy says D.A. Willis and her team approached several attorneys to lead the special prosecution team against Trump. Yeah, you know what? I've been seeing people say that. Is that still a good reason to hire a dude? Did they talk to all the people who could have potentially went after Trump? That's still not. You see, this is where we need to use some logic. And so, I couldn't find nobody, so I'm gonna find the man that I'm sleeping with to do it. To me, it's common sense. I'm thinking Fani is a smart lady, but I think the smart stopped when it came to common sense, because it's like, man, if we get caught, even though we're probably not doing anything wrong, let's assume that she did pay for all of her trips and all of that. He never spent a dime on her. What about how it looks? Because now how it looks has her and him in the hot seat, and her daddy and his, ex-partner, who now everybody knows. And he looks like he's married because he had a ring on his finger. Did his wife know that he ain't at the firm no more because he's accused of sexual assault? See, all that is unearthed when they could have said, you know what? Let's keep it professional. So,
or why did she even testify at all? She didn't have to do that. They would not have called her to the stand. And I think by her even just showing up there, screwed it up completely.
Yeah, and Big Red 69, how you doing? You say it's weird that how Nathan thinks the marriage is over without a damn divorce. Strange, yeah, but that's what he's saying. The divorce is over, but y'all still married though, on paper, whatever. It sounds like they were still living in, in the same house and stuff too. So it's like it just ain't adding up, okay? They're not, all the stuff that they're saying is just not adding up. Now, of course, they will still have to prove that he spent some of this money on him, but there's just so much inconsistency going on. I mean, the partner made conflicting statements that Wade said. Just a lot going on. It's a mess. Yeah, she didn't have to testify. She should have made. If I was her, they would have had to come get me. Hey, you know what? The judge said you need to come on and answer some questions. But she volunteered all that. She's standing up there, walking tall, talking tough, looking at, let's get it over with. Which I was like, man, you gonna give it to him? No, because this is the thing, and I'm not a lawyer. But when you're found or when you're being accused of something and you didn't do it, and there's a good chance you're not going to go up the river, you got a 50-50 chance, I guess, of the jury saying you're guilty or not guilty, or, even a hung jury, but make them work for it. Don't give it to them, So I don't know. All right. Okay, I think I'm gonna open up the link. I just want to make sure, Tasha, if I didn't already, I think I said hello. T-Bob say it again. Says Fani's conduct in court was atrocious. Just any embarrassment for an officer of the court. Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, this can't be for real. Hey, Arson, how you doing? Says, what's the subject? How are you two been? By the way, Donovan is right about feminism and accountability. Many Black women are selective about the issues they complain about. I mean, what can you do? Bigger doings. How you doing? It says Bradley and the other partner will be charged as well. Yeah, I mean, that's potential because Bradley got up there lying. And to the point of where the judge was like, yeah, you need to come in my chambers. We can have a conversation about this because your testimony is not actually what you started off saying that it was. It's actually something really different. So it's a shame. All those people. And I guess, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it was just time. As I saw somebody say karma. Maybe it's just time for it to catch up to you.
Well, again, isn't Fani Willis notorious for prosecuting Black men, rappers, and whatever people in our community by using the RICO statute? So could this be karma? Could be.
Yeah, they said she's very aggressive and that she's got the jails busting at the seams there. In Fulton County. She's very aggressive to Black people. So yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say she's not a nice lady, and I don't know. She didn't prove them wrong for what I saw at the trial. So it's kind of crazy.
Hey, brothers, in the chat, and I'm gonna prove my point. In the chat, brothers, if somebody is going to give you and hire you at $700,000, and you got to be a side dude or whatever to tap it on the side, whenever on demand. What dude wouldn't take that? I'm not saying not all dudes would take it, but in general, most guys would, especially if you got finances and you want to get ahead of your finances, you got a problem.
I mean, yeah, but Nathan Wade, he's a lawyer. Why would he jeopardize his law license or whatever? Why didn't he say no? He knew that if I'm gonna put the link up now, if there was some ethics concern and misconduct, why would he jeopardize his livelihood? It's expensive to go to law school and all that schooling and stuff. So we're not gonna just put it on her because he had the opportunity.
Smart.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, he had the opportunity to say, girl, I'm treating you like a trampoline. I can't take this kind of money from you because we both gonna be in trouble. So I'm just saying that the onus is actually on both of them, right? But she's the one that brought the case and she got the spotlight because, she's gonna be taking Trump down. And it's like, God, over some ding-a-ling.
What do I say? Yes, men are natural liars. We will say and do anything, and you guys fall for it over and over. We tell you, Pookie and Ray Ray is not a good option, but you guys want those Pookies and Ray Rays.
But Nathan ain't no Pookie. I mean, for y'all standard, he wasn't no Pookie or a Ray Ray.
No. But my point is, we'll, it doesn't matter. We'll tell you these lies or whatever the deal is, just to get in them draws.
I mean, I guess, but you know what? Not only did he himself too. You know what I'm saying? So, TW, how you doing? Says I live here in Atlanta. The crooked what does it say? The crooked. Can I see your face? Once again, before I want to. Okay, I got you. You can blank it out if you like. I'm gonna bring you up. I'm gonna put you on mute. And TW1970, how you doing? Says, I live here in Atlanta and I don't feel sorry for her in the least. She took the Trump case thinking this was going to be her rainmaker case, and now she's out there looking crazy. You know what? It could have been her rainmaker case. A whole lot of other opportunities really could have came to her, and I'm not saying it still won't, but it could have came to her. She would have just like kept it business. You know what I mean? But it sounds like they were messing around before that even happened. So if that's the case, say 2019, and her good friend from college backed that up and said, yeah, they 2019, she gave him the case in 2021. So she knew already that was going to pose some problems. But, you know, like a lot of the people who going to catch me, we ain't going to get caught. But you had a little problem. You forgot that he had a wife. And they say at the end of the day, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. Because it was the wife that said, oh, for real? Oh, hold on. I got something you might want to look at.
Yeah, and by the way, didn't that case get settled? Because he left his wife, whatever, and they were still in dispute of it. And I believe they came to a financial settlement because, you know, she was a stay-at-home mom and all of the kids are grown, whatever. But basically, he left her with like no financial support, and she wasn't getting anything. But didn't they settle that case? So she got some money out of it. She got some money and walked off into the sun, but the damage is already been done.
I think they're in the process of settling it. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was part of her complaint, is that he wasn't doing his obligation. I think he only wanted to give her $700 or something like that, but she wasn't happy. Then she was like, yo, he running all over the damn world with his side piece and he trying to shortchange me. See, that was a stupid part right there, man. You need to pay like you weigh. If you know she had the ability to tank everything you and Fani is doing, you should have just paid her the money. But see, it could have all been so simple, but it wasn't that way. So let me see. Who do we have on here? I couldn't see the rest of it on my end. The crooked counselor. How are you doing today?
I am better than I deserve. How are you?
You know what? I'd say the same.
So I'm going to be brief. To my understanding, as it relates to Nathan Wade's wife, I think something else has been filed. There were some things that were discovered during these last couple of weeks that the wife thinks that, I think she's trying to depose Fani Willis. I could be wrong, but let me try and see if I can sum this up as best I could in layman's terms. You said something earlier. You said the way that it looks. If there are any other attorneys in the chat, they probably could agree with me. There is a mindset within the judicial system, and it spills over sometimes into other public offices, that judges and lawyers have to avoid the appearance of impropriety. So this case per se doesn't have to. It doesn't have to play out like the traditional criminal case where they have to have evidence and it has to be tangible. No, it's just avoiding the appearance of impropriety. If it looks improper, that is enough for either recusation or impeachment.
So just
when you get a chance, okay. And this should be a fun look for you. Look up the Georgia rules of professional conduct. Okay, is not their list is not as long as the one in Louisiana, Florida, and Texas. It's a very short list, but it tells you everything that a lawyer and even a judge is supposed to do. Well, the lawyers are supposed to do, and they can't do. That is what Fani Willis is facing. Now, I sent in a super chat and I said that, you know, that they are in more trouble than meets the eye. To my understanding, as of Friday, they filed they instituted impeachment hearings for her as a DA, and I think there are 22 issues on that document. And one of the people that's heading this is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh.
Okay. Now, you have to keep in mind that Georgia is a Republican state, right?
Yes.
And Atlanta is a Democratic stronghold. Basically, she's throwing herself to the wolves.
Okay, do tell.
This will not be a walk in the park for her. She's facing a lot right now. Not to mention all the issues of the cash exchanges and this and that. As a public official, I'm sure that she's very detailed on explaining her financial dealings with the IRS. We better hope and pray that she listed all this cash that she's holding that she's not reporting, or that she may not be reporting. It is a lot that they're facing.
Yeah, and then I think, I don't know if it was the judge or one of the lawyers did ask her about the Georgia professional rules, and they said, well, didn't you know about it? And I guess she was trying to say, well, it really doesn't apply to her, as she's, I think they were asking in regards to hiring people or something like that. So I did hear them bring that up.
No, it definitely applies to her. Now, I'm still trying to figure out, how did this woman even become a lawyer, let alone the DA?
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. And did you see when they asked her about the continents that she visited? And she says, I don't embarrass me, but I don't know. Whereas, well, one of those places she visited, she said the continent it was on.
I mean, you're in the Caribbean. That's the North American continent. Hello.
Well, one of the things she mentioned about the money that she reimbursed, the money that she used in Belize on that trip, the money that I counted was well over $5,000 in the different payments that she made in cash, right? If you travel to Belize, if it's anything more than $4,999, it has to be claimed both going, and if you're coming back, you have to claim it as well. That's and
well, you remember too, she says, and more threads, how you doing? I think you said you were an attorney as well. So I want if the clerk of counsel, you can stay on here just for a second. I think she said she didn't she never gave him more than $2,500 at a time or something like that. I think that's what she was saying.
I'm not sure. I just know I know that the judge, a lot of people thought that the judge was soft on her. To my understanding, the judge gave her enough rope to hang herself.
Yeah, because after a while, though, he had to kind of snatch her up, like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah. And then real quick, Dimitri, you remember in our travels, whenever you're about to enter a country, I've never seen a customs form where you have to, if you have more than $10,000, you have to declare that. So I've never seen anybody travel with more money than that. So there are limits in countries where you go, and there's limits to what you could bring into the country. Thus, it helps cut down on money laundering.
Well, I know for certain that in Belize, I know for a fact that it's $5,000. It's $4,999, or maybe $5,000 itself. But I know in Belize it's $5,000.
Yes, indeed. So more threads. How you doing this evening? I put you on mute so you can unmute yourself. More threads. Hold on, let me unmute you. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah. No, I have degrees, but it's not a legal one.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to tell you it's okay if you are kicked out of the sisterhood. So am I right now. I guess I don't know how long we're gonna be out. They might take us back, but
come on, you're always welcome on this side. You're always welcome.
But this is a massive L for her. She's out here. Seems like I'm not gonna say she's fighting over, but it's gonna look like she's fighting over someone's husband, because this is a scorned woman. This lady about to drag her through it. This lady is over there laughing like, okay, it's cool, it's cute for you to do this, but now all your business is out there, and I really think they made her hang herself. She's out here talking about the money that she keeps in her house. And you got tax liens, like really? So all that attitude and everything, I don't think she's getting it. Like she's hanging herself. And not only that, this man also has a history of SA, all this stuff that could be potentially attached to him. And this is not even your husband. And you're sitting on stand, wagging your finger. And I mean, like I said, I can understand if you're attacking me and it's lies. I'm gonna want to defend myself. That's true. But sis, what you doing? He got an SA potential charge. This is somebody's husband. It looked like he had a ring on his finger when he was speaking. I'm not understanding. And then you're bragging about sharing half of the trips, and a man don't have to do anything. So the only thing really that you're getting out of this is probably the loss of your career, and some good sex, if you missing that, but this is an L.
But you know what I think? I think she's lying. The Fanny don't strike me as the type of woman that will put up with a man making her pay half. I think it's a story that they came up with to say, hey, you a tough, strong, independent woman. And then she would go in there and be like, but you don't, because y'all, I mean, I don't know. I watched pretty much the whole thing. And at first they were talking very endearing about each other. She was saying, oh, and he said it too, we've come closer because of this. And oh, he's just this, that, and the other, and all of that. And then she says, well, he the type of man that only thing a woman can do is make him a sandwich. I was like, okay, wait a minute, what happened here? So
well, you know something? As a young adult, we learn to pick. We're instructed by our elders to pick our battles wisely. You heard that before?
Very true. I agree.
Okay. There was no public outcry from anyone for her to prosecute Trump. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, there was no pressure from the public, from her own constituency, to prosecute Trump. All right. But if she felt the need to prosecute Trump, so be it. At least make sure that your ass is covered.
Yeah. But I think she gave that up. It was so cute. I think she doesn't, and then she don't have the support really of her community. And this goes back to your Blackness too. You don't ever lose the support of your own people. When other people shame you or shit on you, you can always go back to your community, and you can't do that because she's known in Atlanta, from my understanding, as she was prosecuting Young Thug and trying to make an example out of everybody, and now they done put your business out here, and I can guarantee you they gonna do their best to disbar her. She's gonna pay for this. And then on top of that, again, you with somebody's husband, he got a ring on in court, and this other lady, you think she's scorned. You really don't think that they're gonna use her to their advantage, and she's most likely gonna do it because she's hurt, she's broken, and she's angry. So I say all that to say, what's gonna happen when you and this man separate? What's gonna happen?
They said they not together no more. They said they broke up. I think it was, they really couldn't say, because Fani says, well, he a man, so he really ain't gonna remember dates like that. But she said that I think it was like June of 2023 is like.
Yeah, she said August when she had that conversation with them. It was August, but being a man, he'll say June, July, something around there.
Yeah. I saw someone in the chat say that she could have just pleaded the fifth. Well, she wasn't invited.
There you go.
I mean,
she wasn't invited. She showed up.
Yeah.
So if she gets hit with something with taxes, that's on her too, because she got a lien, and you're out here talking about how you keep money in your house. Like, you're hanging yourself, and you're so busy trying to prove a point that you don't see. And that's gonna come back, because Trump is gonna do everything he can to drag her, because you're trying to make an example. And then you got, some of your own people, they upset with you about you making an example out of Young Thug. She is probably, I don't know if she's gonna be disbarred, but I know she looks stupid.
Well, no, ma'am. As sure as you're going to make a birthday, she's going to be disbarred.
I can see that happening, because they're going to use it. They're going to use her, what she's saying here, that attitude. I keep money on, in my house. Now, with all due respect, her dad wasn't lying when he, if he's talking about the money keeping his house. A lot of older Black people do, because of money stolen from them from the Freedmen's Bank.
From the banks, correct.
Yeah, it's just passed down. My grandparents do that as well. But I think he hurt her more than he helped her, it seems like, when I'm sitting there.
And the other thing too is, if y'all notice, he said they asked him about. I'm gonna put you guys on mute because I know it's a little bit of you can unmute when you guys. There you go. They asked him about where he lived. I live in California. He says, well, no, but I'm out there doing a documentary. And I guess they're trying to ask him where he lived and somewhere else. And he says, well, no. And so then one of the defense attorneys is like, is this your address? And he says, well, I basically used to have that house. And they're like, well, what happened to it? He says, well, it was kind of like something happened to it in a reverse mortgage type of situation. So it sounds like maybe he lost his house as well. So it's like, it sounds like maybe they're having some financial difficulties. So again, I'm not a lawyer, but the crooked counselor, maybe you could speak to this. Could that also show motive that nobody had no money, although they talking about, all this money that they're hiding under floors and walls and mattresses. But it's like, Fani's got a tax lien. The daddy might have lost his house in a reverse mortgage thing. So it's like, what's really going on here?
It all pours into what they're reporting to the IRS on their taxes. All of this, my grandmother used to say, it'll come out in the wash. When it does hit the fan, I'm telling you, man, this is not looking good at all. And I think that this could have all been avoided had she just taken the necessary steps to recuse herself. But she didn't want to remove herself from the limelight. She had to be seen on a national platform. And she could have just recused herself from it and allowed either a neighboring jurisdiction to prosecute it, or let the attorney general take care of it. No, she had to be upfront, and this is the result. Well, but as I said before, this hearing is the least of our worries. Come Monday morning, there's going to be more conversation about what they're doing with her at the state's capitol and their articles of impeachment.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this one question, quick, counselor. Because I was talking to a lawyer friend of mine yesterday or Friday, whenever it initially happened. He said the easiest thing for her to do, like you said, was recuse herself and go away and let somebody else take the jurisdiction. But, a neighboring jurisdiction. But if she continues to stay there, this could all be thrown out and dismissed. The whole case can be dismissed. Is that true? Or
well, yes. So here are the options. Let's say, for instance, the judge does not recuse her, does not disqualify her office. They'll go through it. If Trump is found guilty, he'll have a hell of a platform for appeal. Okay. If they pass it to the attorney general, got to remember this is a Republican state. Do you think the attorney general, who's I don't know who's the attorney general for Georgia? I'm all but certain that it's a Republican.
And they also said the governor, Brian Kemp, he was behind her at first, but now he's like, okay, yeah, we definitely need to look into this. And he was probably looking for a way out as well, because he was in line with Trump in the beginning, but then of course all that stuff happened. And now I think this was just a Hail Mary for the governor to say, okay, now I'm kind of back on the Trump train, and we need to make sure that Miss Willis there is not doing anything she's not supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Well, but in a nutshell, if there's a cloud of suspicion that's hanging over this case, it presents an idea of impropriety, that something was going on improper, and that's why you have the process of impeaching witnesses, making sure that witnesses are credible, to make sure that it removes all doubt that we have a solid case. If this woman is not disqualified from this case, this stuff will continue to come up.
I totally agree. And
real quick, Chris Carr is the Attorney General of Georgia. He's a Republican.
Yeah. Gotcha. And I'll answer this question before more threads and give it to you. Kuda Brown, how you doing? My mom used to always say that, Kuda Brown. Why couldn't Fani speak like a properly educated woman? I think it was because she wanted to offer the style, because she knew the sound bites would go forward throughout the media, and the sisterhood would be like, "That's my girl," and everybody else, "Ooh, she had a moment." But it's like, the crooked counselor said, "Is that going to help you in the end?" All that neck rolling and all.
Well, let me tell you this, and I hope there's an attorney in the chat that can agree with me. Lawyers are horrible at being cross-examined.
You ain't lying. I thought that.
Janisha said that Friday. She was like, "Oh my God, they're terrible."
Yeah.
Now, cross-examining someone. Oh yeah, we're good at that. But even myself, I remember. Oh my God, this was something dealing with a judge in St. John Parish, and I had to be cross-examined. It's not a very good feeling, because you're accustomed to being on the other side of the bar, other side of the questioning. But yeah, it's a very weird feeling, and lawyers are very horrible at being cross-examined.
Man, I said the same thing. I was like, they are terrible witnesses.
Not to mention, but hers is a little bit worse because it's a huge difference with being cross-examined and trying to give your best version of the truth, but compared to giving your best version of the truth and being arrogant and cocky with it.
Yeah, she's very arrogant. She's extremely arrogant, and I think that Trump. I'll say this, and then he can enjoy his expertise, and I'll step down for sure. I think she really damaged not only her reputation but her career. And Trump set out to do everything he wanted to do. Now people know her, and they focus more, and we try to tune in more to learn about how she gonna act and what she gonna say about this man. But we not even focused on the fact that she was trying to. She was trying to come for Trump. She was trying to come for Young Thug. I forgot all about it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was packaging some orders and I could not stop looking at the case. I was like, oh my goodness. And we're into it because of not what she's supposed to be doing, So I think she really hurt herself. And she's in a Republican state. And I think they're going to do their best to disbar her. It's coming. So she really should have just stayed from off that stand. She should have just left it alone. And then again, I really think if they can't get her no other way, they're going to come for her with those taxes. They're going to come for her at some point with something. They're going to find something. But you guys can just enjoy his expertise. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you too.
Yeah, and did you guys notice, speaking of lawyers being really bad on the thing, did you notice the contrast between, he answered the questions more directly than Fani did. Fani was giving us a whole story. But what killed me was when they asked him specifically about the cabin, and he took like 10 minutes. He was sitting there like this. Like he had a brain freeze. And I'm like, come on, dog. Come on, dude. Specifically, yes or no? Yes or no?
That guy was sweating like he was an arrestee in the back of a squad car with a bunch of drugs in his back pocket.
He kept on drinking that water. Yes, indeed. I got.
But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and step down. I just wanted to add to you, please, when you get a chance, if you're gonna create another show, pull the Georgia Rules of Professional Conduct, have a and just have a go through with it and compare it to what they're accusing her of. As I said before, this is more about how it looks than to what she has actually done. You have to avoid the appearance of impropriety.
We will do just that. And I thank you for your expertise for coming up here.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll get down and continue listening.
All right. Thank you.
That is one of the reasons I love this show, because you have so many people that have that knowledge that can bring us and give us a better perspective.
I'm curious to see what Black America. Oh Lord, see, are y'all best friends? Are y'all in cahoots? Do y'all tag team each other? Black America. What's on your mind? How you doing?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Okay.
I do, and I actually have a question to ask you, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Ladies first.
I think this will probably be a better conversation for you than what you probably are gonna say. What do you think about the Truckers for Trump?
Truckers for Trump is a bunch of white men out there. You don't see no brothers out there.
So not yet. Are you familiar with the situation?
No. Once again, black truckers and black truckers and white truckers are two totally different animals. We look at this career and job and the way that we get treated versus how they get treated, two totally different ways. So it's vastly different. And what they see and do and what we see and do, it's like, yes, we're in the same industry, but we're complete opposite sides of the spectrum altogether.
All right. Okay. Well, what were you gonna say? And then I'm gonna give it to Michael, and then the Common Man. We got Common Man on here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Black America.
So my thing
in the background.
It's some wind in the background.
I think that's what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say this real quick. I can say that nobody was.
You cutting out. You cutting out really bad. Let me actually put you on mute until you can get your sound together. All right, Michael, what's on your mind?
Hi, Demetra, Donovan. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. What you got on the conversation?
Yeah, I do want to add something to the conversation about the Fani Willis, right? I
Uh-huh.
noticed that on the when she was about to testify, right? I could tell by her body language. It was like very hostile, negative. She didn't want to be there in the first place. In her mind, she's probably thinking in her mind, this is just a waste of, resources and time to testify. Like, what are they gonna find about me with the house, with my, boyfriend, the house, putting money in a slush fund. And in the comment I mentioned that I'm going to elaborate more on that if she does, because if for sure she's going to be disbarred from the legal profession, then what if she runs for office at the state and national, I'm sorry, at the state and national levels? Let's say 2026 and beyond. Her image is going to be tarnished and reputation. So for her, I wouldn't advise her to run for office, because a lot of things that are in the closet, it's going to come back to haunt her, in her future political career. And did you also know that, if she does decide to travel to the Caribbean for vacation, and especially with taxes, because I briefly worked for the IRS. The IRS can issue a lien on her passport for like unpaid taxes and other like financial documents she didn't report to the IRS. But I'm pretty sure she knows the system inside out very well, and gonna hire like a tax, attorney, either to waive the tax liens or to minimize it as much as possible. And also the fact that for her to go after Trump, I think she was just wasting her time, because Donald Trump has a lot of money and influence. No matter how many times she's going to prosecute him, Donald Trump is going to find other avenues to throw the case out, because he has money, influence, and he knows a lot of expensive attorneys. But whereas the Trump supporters, they don't have that kind of money and influence. So for them, they should be charged, because they were the ones who were involved with the January 6th riots. And not only the Trump supporters, but also members of Congress. They concocted a plan, telling them where to go, where to go, what the layout. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you raised some.
Yeah, but let me add to that for Michael, though. You got to understand, if you haven't noticed, in the Democratic Party and just white supremacy in general, and I've said this over and over again, when they are done with their tools and they've used them, they break them. They break them and they just throw them to the wind. Right now, what you're seeing in the Biden administration, look at all the investigations going on against some of these sister girls out here that did all this stuff. Cori Bush up in St. Louis, she's being challenged and investigated for stuff. Look, this is the Biden administration. We can't talk about the Republican administration. We're talking about the Biden administration, the super Democrats. Mm-hmm. This is what they do once they're done with us, and they're done with people. That's how they operate. They break their tools. So for her to even attempt to have a life after this situation, there in Georgia, her name is mud. Her name is mud.
Common Man and Michael, did you have anything else to add? I'm gonna give it to Common Man now.
Yeah, just very quickly. Like, Fani Willis is no different from Bill Clinton. Remember when he testified under oath? So it's like, almost no different. But the only difference is that Bill Clinton was able to get away because he had lawyers, also because of his race. But I would say that he was charged with obstruction of justice. So there's a possible chance that Fani Willis might be charged for obstruction of justice.
Could be. It could be. I really don't think they're going to go that much into it. Mm-hmm. They just want to get her off the case and go about their business.
Yeah.
All right. So, Michael, please come back and see us again.
Yeah, I'll come back. And I actually have a reparations letter I'm about to send to my member of Congress. I want to ask you for feedback, but I know this is not the time.
All right. We'll talk about it another time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I got Common Man. Let's see if we can get him back up. You got to unmute yourself, Common Man. There you go. How you doing? Unmute yourself. You're still on mute.
Almost. There it is.
There you go.
You're back on.
It's back on mute. Can you unmute yourself? There you go. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
there must be something in your system. You're clicking it off and then it clicks back on.
Yeah. Black America, how's your sound?
I don't know. Does it sound better?
Much.
Okay. So I was listening to the gentleman talk, the crooked lawyer, and I had a few, I wish I was up here with him. And I understand that what she did, it looked bad, right? But are we really saying nobody wanted Trump prosecuted? Like, did we not hear him lean on those guys to find votes? Like, I'm really trying to figure this out. What's going on here?
I think you're arguing apples and oranges because neither one of them have really anything to do with each other. So I said this before, her and Nathan, I guess, being accused of misconduct does not mean that Trump is not guilty because all these allegations until I guess he's found guilty. It doesn't mean he didn't do it. It doesn't mean that he's, not guilty in any of those things. So two things can be true at the same time. So I don't think that's what some people may be saying that, but Fani has nothing to do with him asking people to find votes or whatever it is he was asking them to do in Georgia.
But that's where all of this is stemming from. Is that not right? Like, this is why they talking about the impropriety. Wait a minute. Hold on. She's in Georgia, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she's the one prosecuting him for the case for him trying to say all you have to do is find these votes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's the crooked lawyer, I don't know, crooked accountant, whatever his name was. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up.
Nathan
He's the one that
prosecutor.
Right. He's the one that said nobody was telling anybody to prosecute Trump. All of us in America, in Black America, that heard him lean on those people, we wanted him prosecuted. Most definitely.
I mean, I don't think all of anybody wanted Trump prosecuted, and all of anybody did not want him prosecuted. But that doesn't excuse her. And the wife is the one that brought it to light that, hey, by the way, this sucker is divorcing me, and he only wants to leave me a couple of pennies for me and the children. That's where that happened. And she said, hey, he's trying to shortchange me, but he's flying all over the world with his side piece. That's how this really even came to light.
Okay, but when you go to court and get divorced as a man, all of that stuff is already in black and white. The courts are going to give you whatever they see or deem fit to give you as a woman. If it's $700 in Georgia, then it's $700.
Wait. See, because now you're going all off in the left field. Even if the court said that he only owes his wife $1, that's a whole separate issue. It came to light via his wife that says, hey, by the way, the dude that was hired by Fani Willis happens to be Fani Willis's boyfriend, who is also my husband, that's trying to shortchange me during divorce proceedings. So it wasn't that they were taking up the banter of her getting $700. She made it an issue, and they said, "Oh, really?"
And they also found that he was hiding assets. He didn't fully disclose his financial statement.
So it wasn't. The divorce proceedings are a whole different thing. To which Fani rather, the wife is trying to subpoena her as well. Okay, so those are different cases, but they connected the dots from the wife. If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense, and I'm glad you said it. It is a complete different thing. They're getting divorced. So does it matter that the lady Fani was besides it looking bad, I agree with that. That looks horrible. But does it matter that them having sex and she being mad at the other lady? You do you kind of see what I'm saying?
Uh,
They're already getting divorced. He screwed up somewhere along the lines, and they were getting in a divorce.
hey,
So
listen,
does
if yeah, but during the divorce, you know, it was discovered that her husband may be dipping off and tricking off with the DA that's going after Trump that hired him to do so. And she's like,
so?
well, he can't
But
give
if
me
you're getting
money.
divorced, if you're getting divorced, you can't screw nobody. That's what I'm asking you. Should you not be having sex?
You wait, because you muddy in the waters here. You can screw who you want, but you're not supposed to, per the Georgia rules of professional conduct, and the judge did bring that up. You're not supposed to do that with somebody who may work for you. You're not supposed to do that. So that's where the issue is. And the other issue is they're being accused, they being Fani, of benefiting from that relationship with Nathan Wade, because Nathan was paid $650 something thousand to go after Trump. And he was paid that by Fulton County with the blessing of Fani Willis, his woman. That's where the issue is. It's not about his wife and the money that he's supposed to be giving her and the custody. And that came out of that. So the fact that came out of it, that presents to be an issue. Now, it doesn't say that Trump is not guilty or any of that other stuff. They're all separate issues. Fani and Nathan potentially engaging in misconduct is a separate issue. There's no commingling of the cases. They kind of one came from the other type of thing, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, the thing is this. You can screw who you want, but that don't mean ain't going to be no consequences. You can screw somebody else's husband or wife, but does that mean that you will go without consequences? Probably not. So...
And then wouldn't you think during a divorce case, you're trying to put your best foot forward to get as much as you want? It's not a good idea to engage in an extramarital affair when you're about to go see the court and ask for certain things. And if you want to put the blame on the other person, you know what I mean? Like, hey, yeah, you're still in that, you're not officially divorced yet. And it looks kind of bad to the court. Well, wouldn't it look bad to the court?
I think so. Common Man, are you there?
Yeah, that looks bad to the court to you guys, that if you're already separated, because from what I thought, I don't know. I thought that they were already separated and had been separated.
But listen,
and were getting a divorce.
The allegation is Fani and Nathan had been seeing each other romantically since 2019. He did not file for divorce, or she, whoever, till 2000. He filed for divorce from his wife in 2021. Common Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying. Okay. If they file for divorce, I'm sorry, Common Man too. But if he filed for divorce in 2021, and all of this stuff came up in 2020, 2021, we know that leading up to a divorce or a separation, things are already going back. Can we agree on that part, though?
Okay. So I'm sorry.
I understand how you're saying it looks bad because she hired somebody that she was messing around with. I understand that. I understand that they're separate issues. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, just because he filed for divorce in 2021 and they we're not 100% sure if they were messing around in 2019. We don't know when they started messing around. So that's where I wanted to get to the crux of, is we don't know exactly sure when all of this stuff, if they were did she say they were messing around?
Her good friend from college said, in fact, they had been messing around since 2019. She contradicted the statement of Fani and Nathan. And Fani said that they are no longer friends for obvious reasons, because they rented out the friend Robin's apartment. I guess the allegation, or they're trying to allude to, that Fani rented out her apartment so it could be like a shack pad, if you will, for her and Nathan. Now they said that wasn't the case, but Robin is like, no, they lying. They've been doing all kind of stuff since 2019. Now, mind you, that was a good friend from college. Common Man, are you there?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he's moving around. Can you take yourself off of mute?
Mute. Yeah, it's on your screen. I don't know if you're looking on your keyboard, but it's on your screen.
Wait, let me try it. Hold on a second. Don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing. Hold on, I got it. Oh, wait a minute. Damn. Okay. Are you there?
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
No, you're good. You're good. All right.
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing?
All right. I don't know why I can't get in. You're the only one that I can't get in on. I don't know why it is.
It ain't me. Yeah, it's your connection. Seems like it's lagging as well. I'm sorry about that. Let's see here. American Freeman, how you doing? Says you think it's okay for her to be having an adulterous relationship. You think her judgment is going to be fair, so you might be responding to somebody. Vince, how you doing? They say this is one of the most historic cases in American history, and you want to play games. Yeah, I'm telling you, that one just blows my mind. It really does. It's like, out of all the things you're going to fumble the case over, it's a roll in the hay. That for a man who says all you can do is make me a sandwich.
Y'all love our toxic masculinity. Y'all don't want to say anything, but if you talk to a lot of women, oh, I don't want the nice guy. You know, he's a nice guy, but he's not for me. Y'all love Nook. Y'all just do. I'm just sorry.
Oh, wait a minute now. Who is y'all? You talking about love Nook?
I'm talking about just women in our community in general. Not all women, but in general.
Not in general. Because the same thing can be true about men. If you're using Nathan and Fani as the standard, then the same thing can be true about y'all. Because she came off as very ratchet and ill-behaved. So you can say the majority of brothers like women like that. Y'all would say, no, that ain't true. So, I mean, we're not going to put Fani and being with Ray or whoever on all black women, because I don't know no black woman who want to be, I personally don't, okay? No black woman who says, give me a Ray or a Pookie and all of that. So, well, we don't want to paint all black women with that broad stroke. Common Man,
yeah, but
you there?
But we do like women like that, though.
Right. So talk about that. Yeah, Common Man, you're gonna have to come back and see us. You're having a really bad connection.
But you are.
Yeah, you're coming in and out. I'm gonna remove you until you can get your connection. And I'm sorry, Common Man, because I really want to hear from you because you're very insightful when we can get you on here. Black America, do you have anything else to add to the conversation?
Not really. I mean, it started going in a different direction. And I mean, I agree with Donovan as far as long as a woman, and I don't know, that Fani lady, she looks old. I don't know, like maybe late 50s, early 60s, but she still looked like huh?
I think she's 51.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, she's still a decent looking bird, you know, for her age, and she's making decent money. So yeah, like if a woman like that, you won't just turn a woman like that and making good money. You're not just gonna turn a woman like that down. You're not. So, you know, but like I said, that's not the topic of and the way that this was going. So, all right, I'll let y'all later.
Yeah, especially if you're in need of financial backing. So I mean, obviously he was hiding money and he needed money. So
Like who's going to turn? She's the DA. She's making a couple of $100,000 a year. I'm not. It could be Oprah. I'm not turning that type of money down from Oprah or a lady that looked like Miss Seeley, and at this age, you know what I mean. And women like that, older women. If this gentleman is younger, I don't know anything about him. Older women pay to play. It's like all of the women that's going down to Jamaica and all of these other countries, they're paying these young men to hang out with them.
And they right along with the passport bros that's paying a heavy penny for a 2 minutes of fun in all the other places as well. So they go off hand in hand together.
Demetra, I need to remind you, we've been kicked out of the sisterhood. So stop with their talking points. You've been kicked out.
I'm about to say, we don't mind that. I don't ever hear Donovan complain about when he goes and has a beautiful time to wherever he's going. I never hear anybody complain about that. But I do hear our counterparts, our women, complain about. I mean, I know the internet isn't real, but I do hear our counterparts complaining about what men, certain men won't do. But we as men, we know I'm gonna go to work just so I can do this. It's like I'm gonna save away a dollar every day for this. I don't think men mind as much as you really think. She is you really thinking about it, huh? You really think men care about spending money on women and drinks and just getting what we want? All we care about is you giving us what we want. That's all we want from you guys. We just want you to get on our program. We want you to get on our page, whether we have to pay for it, whatever the case may be, whatever it is, that's all we want from you. It's a harsh reality to have to come to. And that you look good. You can't look like Precious.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, y'all go ahead and talk about Fani, Blue Hamer, and the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna fall back.
Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. See, the best way to solve conflict is just don't say nothing. Okay. I ain't getting my blood pressure up tonight. That's the goal. Part of it.
Didn't my parents say that all the time? What the problem is? Eat the cake, Anime. Just eat the damn cake. Shit.
No, I mean, I'm just, don't get a boy, bye. I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like I've never beaten a dead horse, but I would imagine this probably comes pretty close to it. It's like, I'm not going to go back and forth with, it's not all black women, it's not all black men. I mean, hell, y'all want to sit up here and, say black women like Pookie and Ray Ray, go off. Go until your heart is content. Be my guest. Jesus is undefeated. Well, was this one day, and let me correct before I get in trouble for some a lightning bolt come through the hey, that was pretty funny. Good Friday would like to say different, but never mind. Let me read your comment. I say a woman has no use unless they follow instructions. Our use is literally law. Have mercy. I know my dad is probably watching, and Dad, cover your ears.
Did you read Common Man's thing? It's his security.
I got a question. Okay, Daddy, cover your ears if you're watching. Jesus is defeated. Was your mama's coochie useless when she had you? Now, who had a question for me?
No, absolutely. The Common Man says it's my security. He probably has like a double virus and thing. It's checking everything out. I have virus and Trojan horse protection. It's going to, it's going to lock the system down.
Yeah, you got a lot going on, but we'd love to hear from you. I know one time you were able to get through, and we were able to hear all the wisdom that you have. I know, I don't know what's wrong with me. One of these days, I be hoping and thinking that Black America gonna come on here and act like he got some sense, but I'm gonna be like Jesse Jackson, keep hope alive, and if not, then I don't know. Lee 39, he says Diddy says it's giving all the youngsters the business in what? Mohammed, how you doing? So do you guys think that if Bradley has to come back after they blew him up on Friday, he will come now and spill the beans? To me, he should have did that already because he knew what they knew. That's the crazy part. I'm like stomping my feet because if he's an attorney, he knew they knew, and he's sitting up here like this. What are you saying? You know what they were saying. You knew they were going to get to it. You knew. They even named one of the ladies, Anita Rodriguez, I think.
No, she was actually in the court. She was actually, they were going to call her, and the judge said it's irrelevant.
You knew what they knew, and you made them draw it out of you because you thought you was protecting your homie. I was just like, oh. Then it's like, what if his wife didn't know, which it sounds like she probably should have known. And then they brought in a witness who worked at the farm, and he was at a nightclub with him. And I guess he was going to go testify that he saw some sort of something go on with Bradley and one of the women at a nightclub. I was like, oh, this took a
But what I don't understand about this whole thing, and I know it's the, the impropriety that they're looking at to see if she should be on the case or not, whatever. What I'm saying is, why is Fani and Wade and all these people dragging this stuff out? Because it seems to me the longer they are under the microscope, the more shit comes out.
Yeah, that's just, boy, I tell you. And they're supposed to be lawyers. What I know, in public relations, we have this thing called foreseeability. You're supposed to see up the road, predict the future if you can. What could happen if A, B, C, and D go on? So I'm sure the same thing is true for lawyers in the court of law. What could happen, right? And none of them, if they're horrible witnesses, then I don't know, taking forever. And my thing is, because I talked to a lawyer once or twice. I've never had to go on a witness stand. I don't think I have. But I know that lawyers tell their clients, yes and no are the answers you give. Is yes.
Well, I don't recall.
No. Hold on, let me finish. Yeah, yes or no. And then if they need more information, they'll draw it out of you. Okay, you said you crossed the street. What time did you cross the street? What kind of shoes did you have on when you crossed the street? You don't say, well, I crossed the street, and when I crossed the street, I looked to the left and I looked to the right, and then somebody flipped me off, and then I walked over there, and then I bought a piece of chicken. You make them draw it out of you, but they were just up there. I was like, this is crazy. This is absolutely. And I'm wondering too, like, who y'all been representing, and are they gonna come back with a class action saying, yeah, they, fumbled.
Misrepresentation. I got faulty lawyers. Right, come back. But I want to read this real quick. Indie-minded FBA. Nathan Wade took a 50% pay cut to join the special prosecution team. Why do that if he was so hard up for cash or was going to launder money? Because he was going through a divorce. If you're going through a divorce and you can show that you took a 50% pay cut and get paid under the table where there's no receipts, what would you do? If I can show the court legitimately, hey, I took a 50% pay cut. I'm not making what my wife is alleging that I'm making. Of course you're going to do that. I mean, am I wrong, Demetra, in that assumption?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, the question was, Nathan Wade says Nathan Wade took a 50% pay cut to join the special prosecution team. Why do that if he was so hard up for cash or was going to launder money? Because you're going through a divorce. You want to hide your assets and your financial liability to the other party. That's a perfect way to do it. Hey, I'm taking a 50% pay cut. This is where I'm at right now, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting paid under the table where it can't be traced. So, hey, Fani, not only am I giving you all this good deed, I need you to give me, what I'm losing financially as I'm going through this divorce. And to me, it seems like that's what kind of is helping what was going on, or at least that's what it looks like.
Or and then he could have gotten some of it after the divorce, because they said he filed for the divorce the day after he signed the contract, to take on the case. So I mean, it could have been that. I don't know. Maybe they was like, well, maybe we won't take too much money in case we get caught. I don't know. I just felt like at the end of the day, there's just too many smart people in the equation, but then again, maybe we're assuming that all lawyers are smart, and maybe they not, you know what I mean? Because even when he took the money, he had 2 other partners, and because they were also trying to ask them, at least Bradley, did you know about Fani and Nathan? And he said, no, obviously I would imagine that he did. So all these people knew or potentially knew what was going on. Y'all took all this money and nobody said, we might get in trouble here. Y'all dating? Sounds like maybe they've been dating since 2019, and you potentially hiring your boyfriend, and we all signing on to it. I mean, let's think about this, because that's how I think. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money, but I ain't trying to go to jail or get disbarred, or, Warren Buffett says a corporation can afford to lose money, and they can afford to lose a lot of it. Says, but they cannot afford to lose 1 ounce of reputation. And I think that a lot of people don't understand it, because I'm in PR, if I didn't already tell you. A lot of people don't understand money comes and goes, but your reputation is hard, very hard to put it back in good standing if you lose good standing. Another example I like to use is on the movie Doubt, where Philip Seymour Hoffman was playing the priest. And the gossip was going forward in the church that he potentially was doing something to some children. And so he did a sermon the next Sunday, and he says, gossip is like cutting open a feathered pillow and releasing it all into the wind. And then you try to get every feather back, but it's impossible, right? Because some feathers have just flown off and you'll never get them back. He says, well, that's like gossip. You may say something about somebody, and then even if you say, oh, well, it's not true, somebody's going to believe it's true. So same thing about your reputation. And for me, I would have been thinking about my reputation. Like, nah, I'm not getting involved in these shenanigans. Maybe hire somebody else. I wouldn't even hire nobody from his law firm. I would have just tried to hire somebody else. And I know they said that she tried to hire other people. I don't think she turned every stone over in the state of Georgia, so it was just a very avoidable thing, and they didn't avoid it. Then some people, if you ask me, I think really at the end of the day, I think it's an ego. A lot of people have ego problems. I think all the people involved in that, and I'm not leaving Trump out, because this particular situation with them doesn't really have anything to do with Trump. Trump's got his own case to fight, but the ego issue. Who gonna check me, boo? Ain't nobody gonna know. But I'm the HNIC around here. What they gonna do? Type of thing. I mean, even the way she walked in the court was like, I'm running this. Get me this. Give me that. Give me this. Give me that. Don't get cute with me. You don't tell me.
Boss lady, pound town.
Well, I don't know about all that, but So I think some of their egos got in the way, because even before they admitted to it, she was like, oh, it's not true. Or they trying to, hey, this is racial, they going after a black woman. She said all that stuff. And then you turn on and say, oh yeah, we are sleeping together. So I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. It's sad, actually. This should be a textbook of what not to do, even from a professional standpoint. Let's say if it's not illegal, why would you want to have to answer to that, of all things? Like I said, I feel sorry for all of them that your sex life is in the public square for everybody to scrutinize. Nobody wants to have that conversation, because I feel like what I do behind my closed doors is for me to know, not everybody else's. And I think maybe they intended for it to stay that way. But then you got the soon-to-be ex-wife problem, who felt like she wasn't getting her fair share. My mom used to always say, too, there's no such thing as a perfect crime. Because somebody going to tell somebody, or somebody ain't going to get their fair cut or whatever, and they going to start dropping dimes. And that's what happened. So,
somebody in the comment kind of attributed to this. They're saying basically an example like Clarence Thomas receiving all those gifts and nobody said anything. What you guys got to understand is this: there is no mechanism, there is no law that says Clarence Thomas has to recuse himself. It's up to him. There's nothing compelling him to do it. So what do they say about politics? Oh, the biggest problem in politics is money in politics. Well, when the Democrats were in power, why didn't they codify it in law to get rid of money in politics? Oh, because the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court interprets law. They don't make law. And that's the problem. Like, we have two old geezers running for the presidency. They can make a law right now that says, and put an age cap on it. They can do that. They always talk about, oh, when I get to Congress, we're going to fight for term limits. What happens when people get to Congress? They don't talk about term limits anymore. But this is the problem. We know as people what looks good and what looks right and what they should do. But in politics, if it is not a law, they don't have to do anything. And this is why they get away with it. Should Clarence Thomas recuse himself on anything that has to do with January 6th? Yes, he should. But there's no law that compels him to do so. That's the problem. There's no mechanism for these politicians to stop doing what they're doing because they rig it for themselves. Thus, you have a Maxine Waters that's been there for 30-something years. You have a Jimbo Clyburn steps out of leadership after all of these years just to be in the shadows with Nancy Pelosi and still running the show. This is the problem. They don't codify anything. If they cared about women's rights, like the Democrats claim they do, you had over 40 years to codify it in law. Now they're going to run on it. That's the problem. They don't want to put in mechanisms to make themselves do right.
Yeah, I mean, and even if Clarence Thomas was doing some crazy stuff or whatever the case is, what does that got to do with Fani? They're separate things. If he's doing something inappropriate, he should be dealt with. But then again, you know, he's got the highest spot in the land. Only way they could do something about him, I would imagine, is to rewrite the Constitution. You know, so like Donovan said,
you have to make a law. That's all there.
Yeah,
that's all they have to do.
Yeah, so it'd kind of be up to him if you want to step down, and we know he ain't going to do that. But even if Clarence Thomas was doing something inappropriate, that doesn't excuse Fani. See, we got to get out of that. Well, they was doing it. Well, they was doing it. Why nobody should be doing it. Nobody should be breaking the law. But, you know, I know Clarence ain't white, but damn, he might as well be. But you can't do what they doing and get away with it. You going after one of the most beloved people, especially on the right, Donald Trump, and you don't think people gonna be itching and looking for something to say you ain't no good? She gave them that, especially if, you know, Nathan was her boyfriend since 2019. She knew before she gave the man the contract that could be an issue, but her ego, I would imagine, made her think, ain't nobody gonna find out. And then obviously she don't have a lot of respect for his wife, because to understand, she didn't say it, but she was like, well, you know, when she was talking about him and him, I don't know, being misogynistic, I guess, about the sandwich. Well, I'm not just any old type of woman that just allow a man, but she didn't finish. So I was like, damn, was that a dig at his wife or whatever? And so it's like, that's the other thing too, for men and women. Don't go creeping around with somebody, man or wife, and think they're going to take it. Some people might not say nothing. They might take it on the chin and keep on pushing. But some people will air your dirty drawers out for the whole world to see. And, you know, I would imagine they both work very hard to get where they are, I guess. I don't know. But yet it's going to potentially become undone because y'all was having 2 minutes of fun. Wow. I'll never understand that. I ain't going to lie. Love, he says, Fani didn't break the law. That's to be determined, though. I know, you know, you seem like you a diehard, you know, Democrat and all this other stuff. You're riding hard in the paint and all that, but that is to be determined. And
that's not true either. It's not true either. She broke the law on the fact that as a public official, especially as the DA, she is supposed to disclose financial dealings. That's a law.
Yeah, but that has not been determined yet. Because she is saying that money and then that and the other, she paid cash and also it hasn't been determined. And none of that has been determined whether she hasn't broken the law. I guess they'll decide that, but we got to get our emotions out of it. And that's somebody asked, you know, said something about her and all that neck rolling and stuff she was doing. That was for y'all. Love, that was for people like you to get you caught up on style instead of what was actually being said. Did you even listen to anything that she said? If you did, yeah, your mouth would have been wide open. Like, huh? What? But instead, she got you caught up on, she wasn't taking no mess. That's right, Black Girl Magic. She was sure telling him, and she got them together. She was standing on business. What business was she standing on? Because anybody standing on business would have protected their business. They wouldn't have had their draws literally out there in the public square for discussion because she can't control herself, especially with somebody else's husband. See, that's why I said, too, I wholeheartedly reject the fact that she represents Black women, because there's a lot of good Black women out there that would not do none of the stuff that she did. Run around with somebody else's man, hell no, they would not be doing that. And see, that right there, she would have just brought her morality into it. As Shirley Murdoch said, you are that lady's husband. I will not do things. She says, I've done things that I deplore, okay? But, and I'm paraphrasing, but I ain't gonna do that no more. I'm not gonna be running around with your husband. She would have just started there, then the rest would have been history. But she couldn't do that. So y'all getting all emotional because she sold you. It's like, to me, it's like Maxine Waters. Oh, I'm reclaiming my time. And y'all, I almost said something out of Daddy. How you
Demetra,
doing?
Barbara, this is Shirley. Shirley, this is Barbara. You remember that song?
Yeah. But it's like, y'all get these little sound bites and you just be nice. Okay, I got to remind you, I'm talking. But y'all get these sound bites and y'all do the Tasmanian devil. Ooh, y'all act like y'all heard a Sunday sermon at church. Somebody really said something. It's like, what does it mean to reclaim your time? I know she was at a hearing and she told the man, I'm reclaiming my time so she could continue saying more of nothing, but y'all ran away with it. T-shirts, mugs, Auntie Maxine, and all of that. And Maxine Waters ain't did a damn thing for Black people since, and even before that. But y'all riding out on a horse for Fani Willis, who was sleeping with a married man who potentially gave her married dude almost $1 million, and y'all don't want her to be questioned about that. But as I said, what if it was your husband? You wouldn't say, well, she ain't doing that wrong. Leave her alone. You know, a man is not a plan. He's a companion. Y'all wouldn't have none of that to say. You would do exactly what his wife did and say, hey, I got something you might want to look at. You do the same thing. So don't ask somebody else to do something that you would not do. And please, for the love of everything under the sun, stop putting this on Black women that we are proud of Fani Willis. Only a fool would be proud of a woman who would put herself in that position. We're not going to be proud of sisters running around here sleeping with other people's men and doing silly stuff. And that was a horrible representation of any Black woman to go in there the way she did, talking to people crazy. That would have been a very good moment for her to uplift herself and say everything she had to say without the way she said it. So y'all do with that what you will.
Well, again, you know, a lot of people have been saying this type of behavior within our community of some of our women, not all of our women. Some of our women has been going on for a long time. And now when people see it in real time, they're shocked about it. But people have been saying this for a long time.
Yeah, but you know, again, because y'all know me, anybody who watched the show long enough, I'm not blaming Black women totally. I'm not blaming Black men totally. Don't ever forget that man was in cahoots with her. He knew he was married. He knew he was taking a check, potentially, I'm going to say allegedly, because nothing's been, you know, proven as a fact. He knew he was potentially taking a check from his side piece to go after Trump. He knew that as well.
That's his boss, not a side piece, his boss.
Whatever, he was doing something strange with the boss, okay? He knew that too. So they're both, you know, just as guilty, probably her more so because she had more at stake. But I'm saying, Black women, stop running around like this is a win for Black women. It is not. There's so many other Black women out there who would not have done what Fani did, and y'all want to lift her up. Don't lift her up. She should be shamed for what she is doing. And y'all, boy, I'm trying to be nice, but I think it takes a silly woman to co-sign the actions of another silly woman. But y'all don't speak for me when y'all talking about Fani did us proud. She ain't do me proud. I was downright embarrassed, to say the least.
A good movie to watch on this scenario, it starred Demi Moore and Michael Doug. What was the name of that movie?
Disclosure.
Was it Disclosure? and it had talked about how a woman is in a certain position of power, and we know men are doing it, but again, it goes to show you it isn't a man or woman thing. Because if anything feminine has shown us, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. The power that you have initiates the behavior. To me, that's what I'm getting out of it, because here's a woman who's in power, not saying she took advantage of it, but what is sexual this harassment's about? Basically, it's about a person who has the power to take advantage of a subordinate. And to me, that's what this is about. What it looks like to the taxpayer. To the taxpayer, to me, this looks bad in the fact that now Donald Trump could run around in his cohorts. I mean, remember, this is a RICO case. If one of them doesn't work out, the whole thing collapses.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened. I wasn't there. I just think it was an opportunity to slide her boo thing some money. It was nepotism really at its finest, is what it was. You my man, you a lawyer, because they said he hadn't even tried no cases like that at all. So it doesn't even sound like he was terribly qualified to do it. So
yeah, the other two people had more experience.
They had what?
The other two lawyers that she hired were way more versed in this type of case, but yet he became the lead.
I guess, but even still, like I said, I wouldn't even hire nobody from his firm because it's too closely connected, but I just think it was an opportunity to do it, and they did. I think that's what it was. I don't think it was money laundering per se. I just think, hey, hey, boo, you got a law license, and I can, so I am. I think that's kind of what it was, and it caught up to him.
Real quick, Demetri, this is the big announcement. Now, I am looking online, and I'm looking at some of the stores out there. People should be lined up around the corners. When the new Air Jordans are announced, everybody's lined up with their last little $300 checks, whatever they're doing, and they're going to get them some Air Jordans for their kids. Donald Trump announced the Trump shoes, even though he never played basketball. I forgot what they're initially called. And you guys, please watch the right news to see how this man is hawking tennis shoes. And you guys understand why he's hawking tennis shoes, right? Because he is strapped for cash. Now, wait a minute now. This guy's a billionaire. And he's strapped for cash because he doesn't have at least a $500 million in liquid assets.
Well,
so,
what?
But check out those tennis shoes. I want to gold tennis shoes. Who's going to wear that shit?
But I don't know if you know, but those shoes sold out in like an hour. So
$400 shoes. $400 shoes.
It sold out, brother.
Wow.
Sold out. So now, who you talking about? Who? And then Elena Cardone, Grant Cardone's wife, started a GoFundMe for Trump. I don't know if it's having some issues now, but yeah, his supporters are wanting to GoFundMe to help raise the money to pay and all that other stuff. At the end of the day, they said that they are, and the reason why I was asking Black America about the truckers for Trump is because tomorrow they said that they are no longer delivering loads to New York City because that's where the judgment was handed down. So we're no longer delivering loads to New York City, and y'all gonna feel the pressure because we think it's ridiculous. They say we believe that is something from the left, the Democrats that are trying to stop Trump from going back into the White House. So they said they're gonna stop delivering to New York. So it's gonna remain to be seen exactly if they do it and what effect that it has. But yeah, his people are very serious about what is going on with Thunder. I know you being facetious, you crazy. Brother Don, what's going on with you?
Hey, Sister Mitra, Brother Donovan. I'm not a lawyer, but I did attend law school. I've had my appearances in federal court and state court and so forth. Fani got some problems. And her boo thing got some problems too. The brother was talking about the appearance. But the reality is a lawyer is a different person from you and I and Donovan. Because they have, as an officer of the court, they have certain rights and privileges that we do not exercise. So their moral character has to be above that of the average person. So I'm dealing with a situation right now where my legal strategy, and it was on a car deal. The person that sold it to me through their sibling-in-law. Okay, so that's two people, right? Now the representation of what I was supposedly purchasing was not true. I won't even say accurate. It was not true on 3 different points. I have sent them a demand letter. I'm going to make a point. I've sent them a demand letter demanding, I'm taking my legal steps. Sent them a demand letter demanding the money that I had to spend to even get to the place of what they said this particular item was at. Okay. So now I find out she's an attorney. Well, that changes. I actually remember that from the conversation, that she was an attorney. That changes the whole situation now. Now I have major leverage because now I'm going to come after you professionally for your conduct, for your misconduct. There's a thing called moral turpitude. And if you look at the framework for the American Bar Association in terms of professional conduct, it gives you a very clear outline. I was looking at it for my situation. But this is all about an individual's moral conduct. She can be disbarred and so can he. And even with that, that whole hiring him and he's not really qualified.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a problem.
Yeah, that could be.
That's a major problem because like Donovan was saying, it's not necessarily laundering, but it is in a sense a misappropriation. And so that could be a real problem for definitely politically. I mean, and even professionally, they got problems. But, criminally, you never know. Because if Trump gets in office, we wonder what the Justice Department going to look like then. Scary thought.
It's kind of probably what it looks like now. So anyway,
scary thought.
Well, yeah. But thank you for coming up here, Brother Don.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much, sister.
You have a great day.
All right, Donovan.
Okay. So anyway, y'all, we're going to get out of here. I just noticed that we've been here for 2.5 hours. You normally ain't trying to be here that long. And I'm reading you guys' comments. Easy says, y'all know some of these dumb rappers going to buy those ugly sneakers. They know sneakers we love and buy. Yeah, they're already sold out. So,
they're about $400 a pop. I heard they're about $400 a pop.
Hey, it ain't tricking if you got it, And the other thing is too, y'all forget that before Trump became a president, he was a salesman, part of the deal and all of that. So, I mean, that the man is a master salesman, and whether people like it or not, he's got the Trump name still means something. Of course, the gold shoes go in line with the gold toilets that he had. Everybody was wrapped up into Trump Towers, his house and, lifestyle of the rich and famous type of stuff. So I get why he did the gold shoes, but I'm not going to never be mad at somebody hustling to get theirs. Why are we mad at that? You know what I mean? If his supporters want to help him out or whatever the case, why are we mad? My thing is that we hardly said anything about Biden, and Lord knows I ain't trying to open up no can of worms, but y'all sitting up here focused on Trump and them damn gold shoes, but you ain't focused on Biden, who ain't did a goddamn thing for black people. Y'all more mad at some damn gold shoes than you are at Biden, and even taking it a step further. As Brother Samuel said, we focusing on Fani and her Fani, but yet we leaving off that, Harris and Biden up there in the White House, they ain't did nothing for black people, not gonna do nothing for black people, but y'all mad at Trump. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you to vote for Trump, not to vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Biden either. But I'm saying y'all mad at the gold shoes. Y'all mad at Trump selling some gold shoes. Biden can't string 2 words together, ain't gave you not a reparation check, a hate crime bill, no real police reform, and none of that, as he gives loads and money to everybody else and tell you I'll be damned if I pay for something my ancestor did 300 years ago, but y'all mad at some damn gold shoes? Kamala running around the country talking about reproductive rights, and y'all know what that means for black people. But yeah, y'all focus on some gold shoes. Migrants is taking over in every black neighborhood. What's left of it? They just got Mayor Adams to change his mind about letting them occupy a luxury apartment in Harlem, and because black folks turned up on them. But y'all focus on some gold shoes. That's what you're mad about today. That's partially why we, as black people here in America, are where we are. Now, I know there's systemic and institutional racism. I'm not saying that's not an issue, but we add on to that when we focused on gold shoes. So what? He's selling that. They could be orange like him, as far as I'm concerned. Was it your money? If it wasn't your money, why do you care? But you're giving a pass to Fani Willis, who may be taking taxpayers' money and giving it to her man that was married. But y'all worried about some gold shoes. I think when we get off here, we all need to sit like this. I don't know what that's supposed to do. Sit in silence and contemplate why we are so distracted as black people. We should be focusing on the bouncing ball, but instead we focus on the gold shoes, and we mad. I would never wear them. They are atrocious. And even if they wasn't atrocious, I wouldn't give him no damn $400 for them. But somebody did. So what? How about when election season comes, we as black people make more of a responsible choice, remembering that Dr. Claude Anderson said we are the only group of people that vote as a block for our oppression. How about we stop doing that? Stop worrying about what people are putting on their feet. I'm just asking. But then maybe I'm asking too much. I don't know. Carolyn, how you doing? Black Tungsten, how you doing? You said don't want to close the kitchen tonight. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like we really mad over some gold shoes. Trump is the master salesman. He even sold people into voting for him. He said that on Oprah years ago. I'm a Democrat, and he's been a lifelong Democrat until he started to run for president. Most people don't forget that. He said, I could go into Times Square and somebody and get away with it. He sold people on the idea that he should be president, and he won. Y'all mad at some gold shoes, but not mad at the 50 plus years that Biden has been in office, whether he was in the Senate or in the vice president or president, jacking up generations of black people with those crime bills and all that. But gold shoes is what got you heated this evening, huh? Wilma, he said, what did Trump do for black people? Not one thing. He lied about everything, and you believe any and everything. You got to get your info correct. Wilma, I'm going to be nice because I'm tired. Don't tell me to get my information correct. You never once heard me champion that of Trump, but since you brought it up, Trump has done stuff for black people, whether you like it or not. There's a lot of black people who said they did a lot better financially under Trump. Plus, with the First Step Act, there's a lot of black people, including the black woman that asked the Obama administration to let her out under a low-level drug offense that she was doing a lot of time. Trump, at the behest of Kim Kardashian, let her out of jail and some other stuff. But the other thing is this: y'all love to bring up Trump, but you never talk about Biden. And I always ask you, well, I'm going to do you a favor since you want to bump thumbs in the comment section. I'm going to put this link up here for you and just you. And I'm going to invite you to come up here. I'm going to wait for 5 minutes for you to come up here. Click this link. Show me your face before you come up here. It's in there just for you. Come up here and tell me, why do you and your homies like to focus on Trump, but never give any conversation to Biden, who has not done one thing for you, but has done a lot of things to you? Yeah, you don't like Trump. Trump is a douchebag. I'm not going to never say he's not. But Trump ain't wrote no legislation that hurts black people. Not the way, especially Biden has done, has he? But y'all never want to talk about that. Biden. Oh, we got to vote blue no matter who. We got to keep Trump out of there. Biden and them sold you and the rest of y'all that Trump was our boogeyman. We didn't create Trump. So why is it up to the black community to get rid of Trump? They gave us, and I'm assuming you're black, I don't know, it could be wrong, but they gave black people the charge of getting rid of Trump. If you don't vote, you stay home. That's a vote for Trump. That assumes that we was going to vote for Biden. That also says that you as a black person, you're supposed to be voting blue no matter who. You're supposed to be voting for the Democrats. And if you don't go vote, then that's a vote for Trump. But what if I wanted to vote for Trump? Y'all talk about democracy all day long. It's in danger. Black people ain't never had no say-so in this country. But let's pretend that we do. If I'm exercising democracy, I could vote for who the hell I want to vote for. But y'all like to guilt people into voting for more of nothing. Joe, Kamala, depending on whatever day you ask her, supposed to be a black woman. And she said, no, I'm not going to just do anything for black people now. That's what she said. And y'all put on your chucks and pearls and you strolled every damn where. And she got in the White House and forgot about those damn chucks and pearls. In fact, she forgot about black people. And now she's touring the country trying to talk to black people and all this other stuff to get her in it. Because at the end of the day, if something happens to Biden, it's going to be her making the decisions. Now, keeping in mind, she told y'all, I'm not doing nothing for you because you black. So do you think that if she gets in the White House and she really has the executive pen in her hand, do you think she going to do something for you? Do you think she going to change her mind? But yet you focus on Trump? Let's focus on the people that we put in there and that slap us on both sides of our faces as they help everybody else. But you worried about what Trump, what he ain't doing for black people. I can tell you what he didn't do to black people. He didn't write those crime bills that Joe Biden says, I am the author of every major and minor crime bill since 1986. Trump didn't do that. Oh, you might be talking about, and I'm waiting for you to click the link. The Central Park.
I don't think he's going to show up.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm asking her a question. Yeah, and now we talk about the Central Park 5. Yeah, Trump was a horrible individual for what he did. He didn't have no power, though. The Democratic prosecution had the power. They had the power. And she gave to all of their campaigns, including Barack Obama. And they knew what she did to those 5 black and brown boys. And that didn't stop them from taking her money. But you're talking about Trump. So I'm waiting. Because I get tired of y'all. And the other thing, too, is y'all going to get where you are and convince other black people to vote for more or nothing. Because we just can't have Trump come out in the White House. We got to keep Trump out. When Biden keeps slapping his butt cheek at you as flat as it is. Keep slapping his butt cheek at you. Talking about you going to do what I say do. I'm not going to do nothing that I didn't have no responsibility for. And then y'all run around talking about, oh, well, he said he was sorry. He said he was sorry for the crime bills. No, he didn't. He said I was giving bad information.
Mm-hmm.
Never. He said I was giving bad information. He never said he was sorry. But y'all run around this, you know, like Malcolm X said, y'all big up the massa. Oh, he said he was sorry. Said he was sorry. No, he didn't.
And then they never speak about all this money for people who broke the laws to get here, and yet we can't get reparations, much less a study.
Yeah, Common Man, I think we can hear you.
All right, we good now?
Yes, we good. What's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yeah, I had to fix that stuff up. Yeah, why you talking about just coming in? Hold on. I mean, why are you talking about Trump? Trump is the only family in American history that has never owned slaves. Even the Obama family owned slaves.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but they're not
going to tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
I know I'm right, but I want you to tell me I'm wrong, D.
No, I mean, you're right, but they don't want to have that conversation because they go with the talking points that Trump is the boogeyman, and he may be in some respects, but you know, if you're weighing the lesser 2 evils like they tell you to do, well, I'm gonna vote for the lesser 2 evils, then you can't count. Because if you really did the math to see who the lesser 2 evils is, then you would come up with Biden. There's no way you coming up that Trump is the lesser 2 evils. but because people are so ignorant, and I hate that about us. We are
Trump
so
is-
emotional.
Trump is a lesser to evil. Trump put us to work. Black men out, they're not asking for welfare. They're not asking for bullshit. They're asking to get a job that pays a decent wage. And we saw during his time in office that black men were making money, and some of them are still making money. You see? You know, and the Democrats, they want to keep everybody on a social engineering program. You see? And it's not working. Because like I watch the Zoom court cases, and 98% of the women that are in court for being behind in rent are black women. 98%. I counted up myself. You see? But they say Trump is the bad man. Trump is not the bad man. You understand? When Trump was in office, brother was working, and he's trying to bring back the jobs that were taken from the United States. That means putting those factories up in Michigan back in service. You know how many jobs that would be in Michigan? You understand? Michigan was a beautiful place before they started taking the job. It was beautiful. Now the rednecks, the racists talk about it. But before the Democrats got in and started shipping those jobs overseas to Mexico and China and not that China, but to Mexico and Japan, up there was beautiful. Man, everybody had beautiful homes and spread out, and it was laid out. But when they left, when the job was taken, a lot of people left there, and the only ones that's hanging on there are the ones that's still there today that had a plan that saved their money, and they still hanging on. You see, so I don't know why these people talk about Trump has a problem. Excuse me.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Trump
It's
is a
just the
problem.
same reason. It's the same reason I'm a recovering Democrat. You are born and raised and indoctrinated to vote Democrat from the older generations, and you don't know any better. The first thing they told me about being in rehab is you got to acknowledge you have a problem. And my problem is the fact I kept voting for a party that wasn't doing a damn thing for me. And ever since I acknowledged that, I've been on the road to recovery ever since. And it's a day at a time. It's a day at a time. But the fact is, you first got to acknowledge you have a problem.
And let me say this, love, you say Trump supports
Yep,
Proud
I got
Boys.
hip.
You say Trump supports Proud Boys, QAnon, Putin, wants to be a Hitler. But you're going to gloss over the people that Joe Biden was holding hands with, who said that they were his mentors, cried at their funeral.
Gloss over the 30,000 plus people that's being killed in Palestine. We witnessing a genocide among ourselves. You see, what's his name? Harry S. Truman created Israel. Israel didn't belong there. Harry S. Truman created them. Harry S. Truman and I forgot who the leader was at the time. The leader at the time allowed the Jews into Palestine. Okay, and then came 1948, and they started their bullshit. Started killing those people and pushing them out. And those have been fighting back since 1948. Right. And now we're watching. We're seeing. We're actually witnessing a genocide. They're killing newborn babies. Babies that the mother put them out.
Yeah.
And put them in and give them to the doctor, and they get torn apart.
Yeah, I hear you, but certain things. I hear what you're saying, but certain things, we really can't discuss the way we want to on here, and that's kind of one of them. I got you, but yeah.
But you got to think about this real quick. Regardless of the American people saying no, we don't want to support this, they still found a way to pass the money. They still, even though people said no, they still found a way to give billions of dollars, not only to Ukraine, not only to Israel, also to Taiwan. We're on our way to dealing something with China and Taiwan. They found the money, even though nobody wanted it.
Right. So
I give a damn about Ukraine. All right, I give a damn about Ukraine. Palestine supported South Africa during the apartheid era. Palestine was there for them. And so now, since South Africa has filed charges in the ICJ, or the International Criminal Court, International Criminal Court against Israel, everybody's all of a sudden jumping on South Africa. They're saying South Africa is being funded by Iran. South Africa is sending weapons. All of a sudden, it's a big jump on South Africa. You see, they're trying to demonize our brothers. We don't even know if we related to them or not. We probably are. Some of us are. But you see what they did? So I'm like, I don't understand how these people don't know what's going on. You see, I keep up on everything. That's just me. I've always been that way. You know, and it makes me kind of mad when I hear these BS so-called Democrats. For example, I was a Democrat like you, man. I was a Democrat too. Back in 80, I think it was 82. I stopped being a Democrat when I met Jesse Jackson, okay, in Passaic, New Jersey. He supposed to have stayed in the project there. I talked to him, and something about him that I didn't get, you know. I talked to him, and I was like, yo, there's something wrong about this shit. And I stopped being a Democrat in 1982. You see, because something was wrong with that man. Something was wrong about the Democratic Party. I wasn't sure about the Republican Party, so I switched to independent. I lived in like 4 different states in this country. I'm originally from New Jersey, right? And I always register as independent. But just something about them. Matter of fact, I was one of the youth members of the NAACP. When I saw that they went into the same ideology of the Democrats, I was like, no. I walked out. And they asked me to come back. I never came back. You see, there's something wrong with that. They got a different idea of what life should be. They're kind of crazy, you ask me. I think the whole idea of it is crazy, if you ask me. I personally believe in Trump's ideology. I personally do. All right, so that works. All right, the Democrats' ideology does not work. So we see what's happening. They're pushing it, and we're getting worse and worse. Everybody's afraid. Now you got to be afraid to go outside. You even got to be afraid to go get a job because you can't even. I mean, not you guys, but the average person, especially the young people, go out and get a job because they're going to be defeated because they can hire 3 Mexicans or 3 illegal immigrants for the one person that needs a job for the minimum wage. And then they pay them more after they work there for a couple of months. You see, I know because when I had my trucking company, right? Okay, the owner of the trucking company told me. He said, "Look, I wouldn't because this white boy had came from southern Indiana, country Indiana. He came out to Los Angeles, right? That's why I lived out there. And I wouldn't hire the Puerto Ricans. I mean, not the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans that was coming in. And I always hired this white boy from southern Indiana. And you know that fool told me. He said, "Look, if you give them work, or we're not gonna give you work." I was contracting with him. He told me this is boss to boss. You see what I mean? He told me that shit. I was like, "What the fuck? They ain't supposed to be here." He said, "Look, either you hire them, or we're not gonna uphold our contract. We're not gonna uphold the contract. The contract never stated who I had to hire. As long as I had to hire people that was presentable to the company." You see, I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
I told the white boy that. He just looked at me and stared at me.
Yeah, well, there's quotas and stuff, by law, or I don't even know quotas, but you can't discriminate, right? So that's probably how they looked at it, was discrimination. Now, of course, companies do it all the time. It's just the way you say it, the way you phrase it, if that makes any sense. So that's probably that's probably what happened. Hey, JBWR, and who
Well,
else?
we know how to phrase. We know what it means.
Right.
Demetri, we know what it means. We know it's discrimination. We know it's discrimination.
Right. Yeah.
But,
So that's why they did. They said what they said to you because the way it was presented. But we've been here almost 3 hours, so we about to get out of here. I still got work to do on this end.
All right.
But Common Man, I'm glad that you finally were able to come up here. So now you know what the issue is. Come back and see us.
Yeah, yo. Well, yo, D, let me tell you something. You're a hard woman to get into. I was trying to wiggle up in that thing and I couldn't. Nah.
What? What?
I'm just saying. Yo. I'm just saying.
Oh boy. On that note,
I'm a bad man.
I hear. And I was like, what? Oh.
Well, it was hard to get in. It was hard to get in. It took me more than 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes. That's wow. The microwave takes longer than that to heat up food. So I don't even know what anybody would do with 2 minutes. I don't know, Cosmic Harmony. I don't know.
I'm talking technical here. Wait. I'm talking technical here. Now, what you thinking of is none of my business.
I ain't thinking of nothing. It's just kind of the way it came out.
It's none of my business. We talking technology here.
Oh, damn. You talking about an I Love Lucy moment. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's so Ricky didn't hit her in the eye. He really did toss the book and it gave her a black eye. Okay. All right, let me get out of here before we get in trouble and misunderstand some other stuff. We'll be back, y'all, Wednesday, Tuesday. Oh, don't forget, Wednesday is the new show. With love, Demetri K. All right, Common Man. Yeah, with love, Demetri K. Where I'm asking people who want to come on and potentially ask a question, give a scenario about something that may be going on in their love life. I'll take you off here. Their love life will be nice and sweet. It's not like one of those shows where they beat you up and all that other stuff. But at the very least, if you want to send an email anonymously, you could do it. I'm gonna put it here. I should have put it up. And ask a question, and we won't tell your name or nothing like that. I'm trying to get the show off the ground. Is it a love? Shit, I don't know. I think it's love.
It's a relationship type show, so depending on how you look at it.
That's the email, ilovedk@gmail.com. You want to come on the show, be a guest, give us your scenario. You want us to help you with it, do that. You want to send an anonymous email, please do that. We would love to cover it. But you guys asked me for this show, relationship show, helping people, bringing people on. If you're looking for a mate and you want to put yourself out there, hey, I'm single, this, that, and the other. You want to leave your information for people to get at you, you can do that as well. But again, this is y'all idea. I'm going to give it a couple of weeks to see how it works. If it don't, then we're going to have to find something else for Wednesday. Or I might just take the day off. I don't know. But nevertheless, we'll be back here on, and hey, Timothy, how you doing? On Tuesday, our podcast and our live show at 5 p.m. So in the meantime, you all be safe out there. Peace.